Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Monday night. Tonight, it's the ISRC Larry Arts Productions Truck Series for Season 6, race number 6. The drivers get ready to go for more short track racing as we're in the middle of our short track cycle. Last week, the drivers got to test their skills at Legacy Phoenix, where Nick Crawford got his second win of the season. But tonight, the drivers of the ISRC Truck Series head to Milwaukee Mile for the Milwaukee 140 here this evening. The 1 mile course that has a treasure trove of memories if you look back at season 1. And these drivers, for some, hope for the memories to continue in the good sorts of ways. Others are hoping just to survive tonight's race. Certainly should be a good one. We're excited for it. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me up in the booth is going to be Zach Hall. And Zach, the Milwaukee Mile, a lot of these drivers coming in tonight really with a lot of unknowns because we haven't seen this course since season 1.
It really is a lot of unknowns coming in here tonight, Sam. It's a very historic racetrack. I mean, this place itself has been holding motor racing events since 1903. It's the oldest operating speedway in the world, actually. So pretty crazy to say the history that's been around this place. But tonight we got the ISRC here, and it's the second time, like you said, back. And that first time had some fireworks in it with the ending. So I expect tonight to be a little bit of the same. We could see a little bit of beating and banging for sure, because this track is a very one-grooved in my opinion.
It seems to be one-grooved, and also seems like the drivers trying to handle the exit of the corners, which was already a troublesome spot back in season 1. Hasn't really changed much since then. As we go down to trackside, the drivers are just finishing up practice at this moment, but they've got themselves 35 seconds left in practice, about to head into qualifying. And today's qualifying is going to be really different. We've got a long list of drivers coming into tonight with a qualifying ban. Not going to be able to qualify here tonight due to having penalties that are carrying over that some missed out on, restart violations, or ARCA brake penalties from last week at Phoenix. A lot of penalties coming in here, Zach, and looking at some of those lists of drivers, there are a lot of heavy hitters. They're going to miss out on qualifying. They're going to have to start at the end of the line.
Well, I tell you what, Sam, when I was going through the picks for myself tonight to look, and figure out who I wanted to decide who was going to be the driver I thought was going to win, a lot of those drivers were on that list. So definitely made things hard and tough when it came to that. But I will say, I think with the amount of laps we got here, 140 laps, they're going to have the time and ability to do it, but it's going to take patience not to go out there and really use up your equipment and damage your equipment, so to say, and then take it out of your hands. So we'll see who's patient, who's a little bit more aggressive, but they'll be starting out back, and it's going to be fun for us to watch for sure.
Qualifying's about to start. Drivers got 5 minutes to put down their fastest lap, but they only have 2 laps to do so. Joshua Kanata going to be one of the first drivers to hit course, but here is the list of drivers that will not be able to qualify. Joshua Freed, restart violation, will not be able to qualify. Malik Kuntz not going to be able to qualify. Samuel Garcia, Justin Malarkey, Ollie Fonseca, John Forbes, Danny Cochran, and due to missing last week's race, Vincent Sora has a carryover penalty that he was supposed to have made at Richmond. Instead, will be placed here tonight at Milwaukee. So that's a long list of drivers that are not going to be able to qualify. So it gives us kind of a fresh-eyed look of who could get the pole, because there's a few drivers that look to be fast. And Josh Kanata, surprisingly, one of the faster drivers from practice, hoping to find some extra speed here, as he's going to be taking it wide for this first lap and setting up for lap number 2 that seems to be the money lap.
Kanata was definitely one of the quick trucks there in the final few moments of that session there, as we see him go down into turn one. That first lap at 31.66, but we saw him practice around 30.1s to even O's. So I expect that second lap to really be the money lap, as it looks like Crawford now jumps up to the board. So interesting to see the different speeds run from lap to lap.
I did misspeak. Now, qualifying ban, I mean the fact that they're actually going to be starting with an EOL. I misspoke there. Drivers with those penalties I listed off can qualify, but they will all be starting at the end of the line. So if you do have a qualifying ban of those drivers I listed off, they all are going to be trying to qualify to get the best pit stall, but they will be starting at the end of the line, as top dog going to be currently Joshua Kanata, a 30.089, not fast enough for the pole time. That's going to be given to Nick Crawford at the moment, our winner from last week and a two-time winner this season, tied with Vincent Soar with the most wins. Nick Crawford with some sneaky speed there late, as driver that's hoping to find some sneaky speed. Cody Reed on screen coming out of turn number 4.
Oh man, what a lap time from Danny Cochran, a 29.95 there, Sam. That's the first time we see someone go below the 30s, and not only did he do it, but he did it by almost a half a tenth itself. So someone touches that, good job on that lap time, because I did not expect anybody to reach down that low.
Surprising to see that fast of a lap time, but again, Danny Cochran just going for the pole, but will start this race off with an EOL penalty, so the two will take the glory, but the reward not going to be thrown there for now, as Thomas Green and the 00 hoping for some magic for himself, and Cedric Hunter going to be top of the board by 1,000ths of a second over Danny Cochran, the 7, finding some sneaky speed. Didn't find that there was going to be a lot of confidence in that 7 machine coming into tonight, but wow, what a lap time for himself. Thomas Green, as well as Mason Cassidy and a couple of other drivers hoping for their final times to be crossing for themselves, but Green's first lap going to be fast enough for 16th. The second lap hoping for a little bit more an advancement, and Mason Cassidy also still out on track, 5th fastest for the 17. He did not hit the mark that he was hoping for.
Wow, what a lap time from the teammates in front, 1,000 separating them. But like you said, the difference will be Cedric Hunter's going to keep that position up there. Danny Cochran's going to have to vacate that spot and go to the back, along with John Forbes in that 6th position, and a few others in the back. It looks like Thomas Crane's now going to drop up here in the final few minutes here and get up to 4th. So that's huge for the 00. As we're watching the 39, a free here putting down his laps. His first time around was 18th. We'll see if there's a pickup on the 39.
Joshua Freed, 18th position, a 30.2, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any faster. That first lap was fast enough to place him in 18th. That's where he will stay. Noah Steele going to be out there on track, and Noah hoping for an extraordinary lap time, but he's got 45 seconds left here. This will be his final lap to put down a time for the 8, and Noah Steele could be trying to steal a race away here if he can qualify well. With the amount of drivers that have penalties that are at the top 10 currently in positioning, you could just qualify inside of our top 4, 5, and you might be on the front row with how these penalties are going to be served out. But Noah Steele across the line, 28th position on that first lap, only able to bounce up to 22nd. That looks to be the end of qualifying for this field, as they got 10 seconds left. But Zach, Cedric Hunter, Danny Cochran, what burners of lap times they just put down.
Wow. I did not expect to see those lap times. And I mean, nobody's even close. I mean, not even within a 10th. And that just shows you they really figured something out there. And Cedric Hunter, very sneaky pull out of him. We don't usually see qualifying speed out of him. So I'm interested to see what he can do tonight. He might be a very solid one to pick.
It could be a very solid one to pick, but before we get to our picks, we got a couple of things to look at first. First thing, it's going to be point standings. Where are the drivers coming into tonight? Race 6, the official halfway of the regular season is upon us, and here's where the point standings lie currently. John Forbes going to be your points leader at the moment. Vincent Sora, who missed last week, going to be in second by 3 points. But if you move all the way down to 12th in points, we find ourselves with Mason Cassidy, who was our biggest mover after last week's race at Phoenix. Moved up 8 positions from where he was, now solidified inside of our top 16. Then we look at the cutoff spot. Joshua Freed and Noah Steele are cutoff drivers, but our pole sitter for tonight, Cedric Hunter, just inside of our top 20 and hoping to find a little bit more points to crack into our top 16.
huge night it could be for that number 7 Cedric Hunter. So we'll have to see what he can do once we get in the race trim, but lots of others going to be trying to find their way up there along with him, along with Martin Morales or Aaron Kralik there, Tyler Dingler, and it's going to take consistency here. So we'll see if tonight they can begin it, because again, this is a very tough stretch of the schedule for sure.
As we're going to move away from our point standings and get ready to look at our schedule for the field. As we said, we are just into the halfway of this season. The drivers will be taking next week off, as they will be taking a quick break, but they will be back in 2 weeks as the drivers go to Gateway at Worldwide Technology Raceway for April 1st. Then they head to Charlotte, Pocono, Lime Rock, Las Vegas, a much neater and nicer couple of races after they get past Gateway to finish out the rest of this season.
That it is. It gets a lot neater for sure for these guys, and they'll start to figure things out a lot more about that pecking order before they head to those playoffs, where that'll be a very interesting time for sure. I'm still circling that one on Lime Rock. Can't wait until we get there. I think that's still one of the odd races that are still left, other than I think Gateway after this. It'll be kind of a cookie cutter and bread and butter tracks, but man, Lime Rock, I think that's one people are not going to want to miss.
I'm also excited to see going back to Charlotte and Las Vegas being the cutoff race. Going to be fun races to see. Well, from the point standings to seeing our schedule, we talked about pick'ems. Who do we got to win here tonight? Well, let's take a look at them. We'll start off with my pick. Who do I think's going to win? I'm picking the 9, Justin Campbell, just due to the fact of the amount of drivers that have penalties that are top dogs to watch out for. I think this 9 could be a sneaky driver to watch out for. Also, we look at these short track style racetracks. Campbell has been very good at these courses. He's been a top 5 favorite. I think tonight might finally get into that win column. But Zach, your pick, I'm curious on what you've got, because we both have been trying to think who might be that difference of a driver.
That it is. I like your pick there, Justin Campbell. I'll tell you that, Sam, but I had to go a little bit of a different direction for myself tonight. I'm going to go with the 17 Mason Cassidy. I think for a first-time win here, we're going to see him get to victory lane tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. A very good short track racer along with Justin Campbell. So I think those two could be fighting for it possibly when it comes down to the end. But I like Cassidy. I watched him in practice. His speeds over the 20-25 lap runs were top of the board. So I like to see what the 17 can do when we get to the race trim.
The last couple of weeks, Robert has told us who his pick is. We don't know who his pick is, so let's take a look. Who is our producer thinking he's going to win? He's going with the 4 of Curtis Preston with his pick on going to win here tonight. Preston's been having a pretty quiet season, keeping his nose out of trouble, and comes into this race here tonight tied with 12th in points. Not the worst call in the world. Might be someone who could finally grab his first top 5 and maybe a win. Zach, not the worst pick to see from Robert.
I tell you, he's a dark horse, in my opinion. He's not shown really what he's got, in my opinion, yet this year. We're going to see if he gets to show it here tonight in Milwaukee and start to see why that has been one known to win races in the past. So we'll see how it works out, but I like our 3 picks.
We did not go with the easy ones, I think, coming into this week, because of the fact that our usual picks we would go for, starting in the back, John Forbes, Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora, going straight to the back, same for Ollie Fonseca. I think it's really open on who could win here tonight. As these drivers are getting finished up with warm-ups, we're about to get ourselves ready for racing here at the Milwaukee Mile for 140 laps. These drivers will have a stage break here this evening at the end of lap 50. No fast repairs, 4 extra sets of tires in pit road. And it's about to be the start of race number 6 here this evening. Thank you so much to everyone that's joining with us this evening. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you're enjoying our broadcast and you want to see more as well, share the broadcast. We want more eyes to see how these drivers run here tonight. It's been a tough one in the past. Last time they ran here, they had 20 cautions, and the winner was Vincent Sora with a yellow flag thrown on the final overtime attempt. Will we have to use all overtime attempts, or could we finish this race out green? Well, to find out as we get ourselves prepared. The grid underway. Your grid sponsored by Hot Lap Threads. Thank you so much, Hot Lap Threads. If you'd like to go get your own racing apparel for some of your favorite iRacing drivers, go on over to hotlapthreads.com today. Taking the pole award, it's going to find ourselves with the 7 machine of Cedric Hunter. for himself. Second, we find Danny Cochran in the 2. Nick Crawford going to be starting in 3rd. Thomas Green 4th. 5th, we find Joshua Kanata. Mason Cassidy 6th. 7th is John Forbes. Matthew Greathouse going to be starting in 8th place. Ollie Fonseca 9th. And 10th, we find the 25 of Cody Reed.
Starting in 11th, it's the 9 of Justin Campbell. Starting alongside him in 12th is the 4 of Curtis Preston. 13th position is going to be the 14 GT Arizari, with 14th going to Christopher Norris. 15th position going to be Jarrett Talmadge, with 16th going to go to Vincent Sora. 17th is going to be the 01 of Aaron Kralik. 18th position going to be held by the 39 of Joshua Freed. 19th is going to be the 19th Tyler England, and rounding out the top 20 is the 3 of Anthony Gaudier.
Then in 21st, it's a 13 of Travis Everett. 22nd place, we find the 8 machine of Noah Steele. Mark Morales Jr. in 23rd. Samuel Garcia going to be in 24th. 25th is Justin Smith. Dakota Moniz in 26th. 27th, we find Justin Malarkey. Tyler Horn back in 28th. 29th, we find our very own Zach Hall, who will actually just be in the booth with us. And then Ryan Ferraro in 30th. But again, the long string of drivers that are going to have to start at the end of the line because of penalties carrying it over from last week. That of Joshua Freed, Justin Malarkey, Ollie Fonseca, John Forbes, Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora, all going to the end of the line here, Zach. It's going to be tough for all those drivers as they're getting ready to roll off from the grid.
This is going to make this fun to watch, I think, Sam. I mean, right now, you got Cochran, of course, coming off the front row, so that's going to launch Green up to that front row. So that's a huge win for that 0-0 to qualify 4th, actually, instead of 3rd. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But right now, these guys dropping to the back, I think that's only going to make things more exciting for all of everybody here viewing tonight, because those are trucks definitely we see towards the front end of the field. And when they got to go for it here, it's going to be go time. We could see some of that pushing and shoving come out here with this old one-groove racetrack here in Milwaukee.
A lot of drivers going to aim for that yellow line through the corners on the straightaways, trying to set up for each corner. The field has been told that they will be starting within 2 laps. They add an extra lap of pacing to make sure all the drivers that have to go to the end of the line have the time and ability to do so, as we are going to be having ourselves a total of 27 drivers about to be taking the grid, have taken the grid here tonight, going to be taking the green, as Ryan Ferraro as well as Samuel Garcia going to be deciding to start in pit road currently. But up front, Cedric Hunter in a comfortable zone for himself. To his outside, going to be the 0-0 of Thomas Green. Is going to be probably the best start that Thomas Green could ask for after a lot of bad luck for the 0-0 and for the 10 of Jarrett Talmadge. Those, it's great to see them back out on track, but their luck from past seasons before they left the ISRC Truck Series, it continues to linger, and tonight they're hoping that it will change up on this race here at Milwaukee.
That they are hoping that changes up for sure. I think this is great for Green for sure to start up on this front row, because no better place than to be out front, especially at a short track, because you know what could possibly happen here. So we'll see how it works for him. He's got his teammate Jarrett Talmadge back there in 15th, who I think has had the bad end of every stick we've got for him so far this season when it comes to any type of wreck. So we'll see if Talmadge can make it through, but his teammate Green definitely looking good. We'll see here with this first restart being controlled by Green. Can he take advantage of being on the outside of the 7th?
Open and take the advantage. Front row going to be returning driver of Cedric Hunter and Thomas Green. As a bunch of drivers had to go to the end of the line. Pace car to pit road. It's time for us to get racing as our Milwaukee Mile 140 is underway here this evening. Cedric Hunter going to go down low. Nick Crawford already drifting into the corner, showing signs of 2 to 3 wide into turn number 1. And it's Hunter with the advantage, but Nick Crawford losing a lot of ground for the 74, who just got a little bit too giddy down into turn number 1. Rest of the field trying to slot on where they feel the most comfortable, but out of turn number 4, it's all the 7 of Cedric Hunter.
Cedric Hunter loving what he sees in the mirrors. All the racing's going on behind him. Kanata looking to take advantage of the 74's mistake there.
Oh, trouble! Hard contact in the back. It is John Forbes going to be heavily hit for the 11. And exactly kind of what we were worried about is drivers that are quick in the back getting a little bit too giddy, and some hard contact for the 11 machine. And it looks to be some other drivers also getting spun around. Tyler Horn, hard impact, and Danny Cochran, huge shove on the entry. They're all trying to find the good spot to get back accelerating, and a miss under speed. Danny gets the 11 out of control, and a couple hard contacts all around.
Nothing Forbes could do right there. He was stacked up behind Morales and getting his bumper run over, but shows you putting those trucks in the back, it's going to make things wild here, folks. Already seeing a little bit of aggression being shown to try to get up there in this early caution. It's only going to make things a little bit more antsy.
As they were just all on top of one another on the restart, but big thing, Ali Fonseca, huge contact for himself, getting involved with the 11 after spun around. No one with required damage though, so luckily that didn't happen, but you can see here for Dakota, I mean, this first lap is already pandemonium was showing how with drivers all around. It wasn't until lap 2 though that we find ourselves with this incident.
Yeah, and lap 2 was definitely where everything went down. As we're riding on board here, and you're going to get to see it when it does break down on that next lap. It really is a blockage. This track is kind of similar to something like a New Hampshire where, you know, when something happens, it really fills up that whole, you know, racetrack and causes some huge problems for people trying to miss wrecks there, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, everyone trying to make it through these incidences as neat and tidy as they can. But in pit road, John Forbes getting his repairs done for the 11. The 26 of Tyler Horn has already used a pit stop for the 26, and the field already with early caution, and this is looking pretty close to what happened during their first race back in season 1. Their first caution came out on lap 3. This go around on lap 2. But the back half of the field, this is not going to be comfortable knowing that they've got the likes of Danny Cochran, Vincent Soar, Ali Fonseca, drivers that we know are top 10 contenders, trying to figure out the different braking zones when you're deeper in the field and how much slower you have to drive with everyone so packed up here on the initial starts of these races.
It definitely makes things interesting, so to say, is John Forbes is coming off a pit road here right ahead of this pace car after getting some damage repairs done on the 11 machine, but just shows you everybody's in a rush. They know, you know, the likes of the 2, the 11, you know, the 15, all those guys back there racing each other know, hey, if he gets ahead of me here, it could be, you know, that pass that is later tougher to make. But you got to sometimes race with that in mind to say, you know what, we just got to get through this field if we want to make something happen. And sometimes over pushing the subject and pushing the matter can really put you in a bad spot and push you even farther back again.
It certainly can. As the field gets ready for this restart, pace car lights are still on, so once they click over, we will get the 1-to-go indicator for the field to go. But tonight's race, again, 140 laps, but we do have a stage break at the end of lap 50, or if you have a caution between lap 45 to 50. Here's your weather conditions, though. Ambient temperature, air temp is 74 degrees, track temp 91. The wind is a-blowing, though, 10 miles per hour at this current time, but expecting that to fluctuate around that 10 to 15 miles per hour window. So we can see that influencing these drivers through the exit of the corners where they've been feeling that pain even during practice, Zach. I think a lot of drivers were trying to focus on having the cleanest exits and keeping that high speed.
That they were, and you know that wind can have a big factor for sure on these trucks. These things are very aerodynamic, and you know this is a 1 mile short track, so to say, and it races like a short track. But at the end of these straightaways, you'd be surprised that they're going upwards of 150, almost 160 mile an hour. So heading off into these corners, aerodynamics is definitely been a pretty big factor still. So gotta make sure that wind's not playing too big a factor to stay on top.
As we get ourselves prepared and ready to get back to green flag racing, welcome again to everyone that's just joining with us. First caution is out, but it's time to get back to green flag racing here this evening for the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series. The Milwaukee Mile 140 is back underway. Hunter's got the lead down into turn number 1. A much cleaner start for some of these drivers up front as they exit out of turn number 2.
Much cleaner start for sure, but we'll see what happens farther back through as it looks at the first battle. Thomas Green with the likes of the 17 Mason Cassidy trying to roll around the top side, and it's one thing you'll try to see is people will try to make that outside work. It is tough to do though. The very bottom here always has the superior grip just due to the surface of how it's laid out, but it makes racing here very interesting. Right now we're seeing some side-by-side action. Look at this Nick Crawford opening up the door almost to the 9 at Campbell, who he's made a ton of ground up here to start.
He's made a lot of ground so far. Nick Crawford trying his way, working on the outside. You can see his Cam, one of the few drivers that's using a VR headset while racing in sim and utilizing the run on the outside as we hop on board and get a sense of what the 74 is feeling as he's trying to make the pass on the 00 of Thomas Green on the inside.
Trying to get some of that track position that he gave up with that initial start. This 74, 2 wins this season after that win last season. He would, last week, he would love to add a third to kind of break that tie with him and Vincent Sora of the past champions so far. But right now, he's trying to make the outside work, and that is tough to do, Sam. But he's very impressive right now, being able to somehow work that.
Still trying to work it on the outside and working his way forward as we take a better look at the 00 good wrench machine of Thomas Green, continuing to fight back and forth for the 4th place position as Nick Crawford continuing his way forward. And Zach, here at the Milwaukee Mile, curious on what drivers are thinking. Like we said, this is similar to New Hampshire, but these drivers are kind of in that short track 4-race spree they've been going through with Richmond, Legacy Phoenix last week, here at Milwaukee Mile, and then after next week's break we go to Gateway. These drivers have been having to learn how to downshift and shift their way through. Are there any shifting going on here at this track that you know of, or are we kind of going in blind with this racing action?
I did hear from the guys that a lot of shifting has been occurring, so it does like both ends of the track they're shifting, so it's just part of the factor here when, especially when you have like a flat, very, very flat track like this, just the way the gearing works out with the regulations, shifting almost plays out to be better. And it seems like that's what a lot of people are doing. It looks like Cody Reed diving to the inside. They're going to make the pass on Crawford. So now that's going to open up the door for Campbell here to look to the inside, as maybe even Christopher Norris trying to follow through.
Trying to follow their way through and see a slight gap building up from Christopher Norris in 8th place back to 9th. Where we find GT Irizarry, as Irizarry is seeing a good battle behind him. Greathouse and Jared Talmadge is the target machine in the 51. Both side by side, and Robert, our producer's pick to win. Curtis Preston in 15th, in a 14th, having a good run as drivers are making some big moves behind. Saw bouncing the inside. Danny Cochran willing to move forward and trying to get aggressive. We're just 13 laps into this race, but you know, our stage break at the end of lap 50, those laps will catch up to you very quickly if you're not being efficient right now.
That they will. I'll tell you that much is Cochran. Got to give him a huge credit for riding on north and up to 14th. I mean, he's the farthest up of anybody who's got that penalty. It looks like Vincent Swartz made his way up to 17th, Forbes up to 18th. So great progress already from that group. It's going to get tougher the closer they get to the front of this field. Now trying to work over this 3 of Gaudio. We'll see how well they can make these passes happen as they get pushed to the top 10.
So for Danny Cochran, Anthony Gaudio working together on Wednesday nights in our WSSR Cup Series as they are trying to play nice here as they continue to race on throughout tonight's race. Again, thank you so much for joining with us. 14 laps, now make it 15 laps in the books. And Cody Reed now on the march, trying to get by Thomas Green, Thomas Green's been doing a good job so far holding steady on where he's at, but Cody Reed, confidence coming into tonight. Favorite style of racing, these tracks, a lot flatter, have to use the braking a little bit more, find the arcing, keeping the momentum. This is the 25's favorite style of racing. I know Gateway in 2 weeks is his favorite track on the schedule. This 25's running well here at the Milwaukee Mile.
He looks very, very quick, Sam. He's running one of the fastest times around the last time by. Kanata in second is closing down center corner, I must say, with his lap times. So that's impressive to see also. But definitely some guys that, you know, have that different style of talent they can use, and it really works here at this track with these flatter surfaces like this. You just have to drive the truck so differently than a bank track.
Vincent Sora able to get by Tyler Dangler up to 16th place. Also behind Vincent Sora going to be John Forbes that's able to get by the 19. But Sora, the last driver to win at this track back in season 1. Some would say under a very controversial standpoint that race, as he spun out Mark Whitley, who was bound to win that race until the contact was made, spun the 77 around and allowed Vincent Sora to win. But that kind of spurred on probably the best rivalry that we've seen for a while, that season 1 rivalry of Mark Whitley and Vincent Sora. But here tonight. Sora's got a much tougher task. He has to work through this field if he wants to win here and take back the crown of the most winning driver so far this season and get his 3rd win so far.
It'll be a tough task. It seems like right now he's having a little bit harder time with this team in the Cochran, but he could be pacing himself a little bit here. I think it's smart not to go out here and really overwork the tire. You still got to get to lap 50 here, especially if we stay green. And I think the farther we get into the run, we could see tire wear definitely be a huge factor for these drivers trying to make these passes. And I think Cochran might be throwing a little bit more caution to the wind, and looks like Sora kind of a little bit more patient when it comes to that. We'll see if that pays off.
One's being probably the most patient, also trying to limp around with the damage that was collected. The 11 of John Forbes utilizing Vincent Sora, kind of a spearhead through this traffic. He sees a driver get pushed high, and the 11 just scoots right below. Says, I'll take that spot right on back, and might be conserving the tires the best out of all these drivers that are moving forward. As take a look at John Forbes, the focus is on as his driver cam is rolling and using a 3-monitor setup is the 11 machine as he continues to scoot his way forward. John Forbes, again, last season's champion, trying to become the first driver to have 2 championships, and also this season look to get into victory lane. Would love to do so here tonight as our points leader coming into this race.
That he would. He would love to get the victory lane. It's definitely eluded him this season. He's had the speed, and he's definitely got the focus on, because like you said, he's been following Vincent Sora through the holes that he's been making. And I think that's what his goal is, just stay glued to the 15th bumper, follow him through. It makes everything much easier. So check out our leaders here, kind of gap the field a little bit.
Have gapped the field, and right now pace is equal out between Cedric Hunter and Josh Kanata. Last that we talked about Kanata, you noted on it, Zach, being one of the faster drivers on track, was closing in on the 7 machine, but as he got closer, the times equaled out, and now it seems like for Joshua Kanata, those lap times not as quick or as equal as you would hope. Right now, staying steady or feeding back is the 16. Look at the rest of the field, though. I mean, this group still slightly pulling away from the likes of Cody Reed and Mason Cassidy.
That they are, and I tell you what, Kanata, I think, dealing with the likes of that dirty air, but Cody Reed didn't really have to deal with too much of it because he got around all these guys, and it's been impressive to watch his lap times as he's gotten past all these people. He's still keeping up a very good pace, so we'll see if it falls off later, but Reed definitely is showing his prowess at these style tracks. As you can see, this group is all stacked up together, Sam.
All stacked up, but we continue to stay clean and green for now. Again, these drivers are racing to the end of lap 50. That will be our stage break. Top 10 drivers get bonus points, and right now the number 10 of Jared Talmadge, who's about to be challenged by by Danny Cochran. That is your 10th place position, but Justin Campbell at one moment was pushing forward, starting to fade back as Christopher Norris aims for a pass, and GT Rosari, who's closed in on this group, trying to figure out how to set up for these moments as well, as we're seeing the different patterns of how these drivers enter and exit through the corner. We're seeing a couple of diamond patterns, some drivers trying to stick and paint that yellow line. It's interesting how we're seeing these drivers pick and choose where they feel like the maximum speed is at to exit the corner as fast as they can.
Very fun to watch. It's definitely making the creativity out there for these drivers to go out there and search for the grip. So it's made passing readily available. I mean, the likes of Cochran up to the 10th for himself. So showing he can quickly move through as he ride on board. GT's are here. He's in 9th. He's trying to move forward with Campbell, who's been struggling, but he's going to have a truck look to his inside, and that's going to be the 2 of Danny Cochran, who's continuing to charge through. That too, man, he looks very, very strong.
Looks strong and has been very athlete, figuring out where you want to set up for these passes. And, there's pluses and minuses starting at the end of the field. Plus, you're learning. You are getting the most knowledge of how to pass drivers, where are the points you need to be. You want to set up for a pass. The weakness is we've already seen that with our first caution. You're close to other drivers. The potential of a yellow is always there, and you being involved as Cochran dives down low below Campbell, trying to set up for this pass for 8th place. And Danny Cochran continues to be efficiently making each pass going on by. And Danny Cochran, at this pace, with the amount of laps that are left, I think maybe a top 5 is still in the window for this 2 machine.
It very well might be in for him still here for this stage. I've been watching kind of lap times fluctuate. Forbes, Vincent Sora, very, very quick lap times as they're starting to come up to the inside of Curtis Preston, 15 now, Sora. So He's trying to make up the ground that Cochran has built on him, but you know, with the amount of trucks that the two split in between them, it's going to be tough. I got to give Danny Cochran a big credit here to really doing a good job of making efficient passes.
Trying to take every opportunity that you can, and we'll see how nice this pairing wants to battle with one another. Christopher Norris, Danny Cochran. How much space is Norris willing to give here? The 38 has been getting faster each season. We talk about him. He's made the Final Four in the past, and at this time, it's that growth of when do you want to be patient, when do you want to be defensive, and right now, as we are closing in to 20 laps to go before this stage is over, 38's in a good questionable spot. It looks like Danny Cochran going to poke the nose, and just placing himself in a perfect position to go for the pass, makes a clean move, and just like that, that's probably the cleanest pass that you could ask for if you're Danny Cochran, and now he's got some space to try to run down Nick Crawford.
Excellent job, man. I'm telling you what, doing all this passing has had to take a toll on the tires, but he's made everything nice and clean. Look at the sort teammate following him through. He's going to go past the 10 of Jared Thomas. That puts him up into the 11th position, only one position on stage points, and these guys could be in for big stage points. Not only say I'm very thoroughly impressed with how well they've gone through the field, and right now also impressed with how the racing's been very stacked up, but everybody being very cordial and not running anybody over.
Based off of where they qualified in positioning, not based off where they started when the race took the green, because of how many drivers had so many go to the end of the line penalties. Cody Reed, one of the highest movers right now, in third place, up 7 spots. Then the next highest mover is Christopher Norris, up 6 positions. Now we know that Dan Cochran and Vincent Sora, they both have moved forward from the end of the line, and the rest of the field continues to try to sort out where they want to be. Curtis Preston setting up the pass to get by Jared Talmadge for 12th place. We see on screen as John Forbes is kind of stalled out. He's lost touch of the rear bumper of Vincent Sora. He's got a wall that he's got to figure out how to get by in. Curtis Preston sets up the pass, but Forbes can't take that advantage of having the driver making a move.
He's going to take a late look here into one and dive up the inside of the team machine of Jared Talmadge and try to take advantage of it. But yeah, not able to keep the same pace as Vincent Sora, but still within distance, where if Sora gets held up for a little bit, he'll be right there with him. But right now, he's got to focus on getting that pass done first and getting to this 4, who Preston also looking to go forward, also who's running some quick times.
Makes some quick lap times forward, as now it's going to be the battle for 8th place. Justin Campbell, Christopher Norris, and now add the name of Vincent Sora into the mix here for this 8th place position. As Campbell was able to make the last lap, Norris has been trying to figure out how to get the nose underneath the 9, not able to do so. And on the outside, Vincent Sora gets the better run, and they'll drag race their way into turn number 3. It's the 15. Al breaks Christopher Norris, and about to be clear. Outside move for the 15 machine. That is a power move that, honestly, this late into this run, you don't expect the tires to be at, but Sora makes it be done.
That's the type of move, Sam, where if other drivers seen that move and how easy that looked, they'd be like, man, that's going to be tough to hold back, because he just rolled the top right around him, and you don't see that here in Milwaukee. He did a great job there to make that work. And now he'll set his sights forward on the 9, but you can see here the 00 Thomas Green all over the back bumper of the driver that I picked for Mason Cassidy, who's having a great race. Right now, though, trying to hold off that 00 for some good stage points.
Trying to get those stage points again. Stage is at the end of lap 50. Top 10 drivers get bonus points. Your stage winner gets 10 bonus points. Second gets 9. Third gets 8. It continues to drop down, and so you get to 10th place, where they just get 1 bonus point for that finishing position, where that's where Christopher Norris runs currently. But the 00 Thomas Green hoping for a good run here. Mason Cassidy has been having a solid run this season. This season he comes in tied with 12th. Currently, again, was our biggest mover in points in positioning after last week's race at Phoenix. We look at the driver like Thomas Green coming into this season, hoping to get a lot more points. He's only ran 2 races this season and needs a massive kind of help and boost here. He's coming in 34th in points. If Green, he's going to need some big days and possibly a win if he wants to make the playoffs.
And he will. Some of the drivers from back here who definitely need some better days right now are the likes of the 51 Matthew Greathouse here and they're side by side, and they're not far behind that giant line of trucks. So they're, I mean, not far behind stage points. It's crazy to say that. So it's not out of reach for them yet. They can stay fighting here. Barely around the 51. He has a shot still. As you can see that he can run up ahead. But look at the sideways action back there. Behind that, I think that was the 24. Or no, sorry, the lights in the 8. Noah Steele.
Noah Steele, Anthony Gaudia trying to hold together as they continue to push forward. Crawley going to be making the pass on Great House. Great House had a decent qualifying run for himself, qualified inside of the top 10, and now will fall to the position behind the 01. That's for 15th place, as now Crawley will try to make his march to go forward as these drivers 38 laps into this run. And Zach, this already is the longest run for back in season 1 or here tonight. Combining both races, this is the longest run that they've ever had. This is impressive to see that they've been able to stay this clean and green at this moment as John Forbes makes the pass moving forward. Now up to 12th place as he tries to get by Curtis Preston and finally able to get by the 10 and the 4 machine that have been kind of a wall for these past 5 to 6 laps.
And they have, and I'll tell you what, if I don't remember correctly, I believe the 4 and the 11, they got into it there in Phoenix and definitely were happy with each other, how that played out. So Preston there definitely not probably making it easiest on the 11, but 11 works his way on the outside and Ford tries to fight back. But these guys know it's right on the edge of stage points for them. They know one driver slicks up because Christopher Norris is right ahead of them with that 10th position. They could be in a position to take them.
Trying to move forward as now the battle for 5th place is underway. Thomas Green going to be falling to the clutches of Danny Cochran that we're right on board with. And Danny Cochran talked about how he had a chance to go for a top 5 run. Well, even the more positions are on the menu after getting by for 5th place. He's 4th right in front of Mason Cassidy. And Cassidy having a very solid run, but the 2 continues to take every spot possible. Now we fall back to the battle for 7th place as Nick Crawford and Vincent Sora battle off of 2.
This is some great battles going down. Sora, I looked at a lap time just a moment ago, was in the 1, so 31-1 compared to really everybody else is running 3s, and the leader Cedric Hunter in the 2s. So that 15 is showing some great long run paces. He does clear that 74 and move himself up to 7th. With the amount of time left, he still has an opportunity to get to at least a top 5 in my opinion. With this grouping up ahead, as you can see back here around the 10th position, this is where the war is going on because the 11 is trying to pass the 14, who's been trying to get on the 38. This grouping knows what's on the line.
And John Forbes also in that spot where, yes, he comes in tonight as the points leader, but that's only 3 points with where John Forbes runs compared to Vincent Sora. Sora, after just the stage break, would be taking over the points lead for the regular season as the 11 tries to set up a pass on the outside. There's just not enough spacing to work with, and we'll see how nice the teammates want to play between Christopher Norris and John Forbes as Forbes rips the top, gets back on the accelerator, and trying to make a very similar move that Vincent Sora just did on Christopher Norris, ripping the top through 3 and 4.
Look at that, the 11 going way up there. And look at the 14 going below him. It's going to be 3 wide here late on the exit. And I think the 38 is going to have to back out. The 11 makes the pass. The 14 still stuck behind the 38. And now John Forbes up to 10th, taking that one stage one away from these drivers.
GT saw an opportunity, but actually backfires, hurts him, and it enables John Forbes now to be in 10th place and pulling away the faster machine is that 11. As we are just about to cross over into lap 45, and now we're in the zone of, if we get to the end of lap 50, a caution flag will be thrown once the top 10 drivers have crossed the line. But if there is a caution flag between lap 45 to 50, that will also count as the stage. So these drivers know if you're going to be making passes to get inside of the top 10, you need to make these passes now, as we've entered that zone of potential yellow is going to end the stage.
That's a very good point, Sam. These drivers got to get things done if they want to have hold of the points that they got. As Cedric Hunter, you can see 1 second, or almost a 2-second gap here back to Joshua Canada, who's fallen into the clutches of Cody Reed. The battle is really starting to heat up. Thomas Green falling into Vincent Sora's lap, and also Danny Cochran starting to make ground up on Mason Cassidy. This grouping here from that 4th positional back getting very, very close.
This next restart, you just have a sense that it is going to be a bloodbath of who's going to go tackle Cedric Hunter. Will it be Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora? They both look extremely quick and at pace to stick with the 7 here. Cody Reed also trying to make his mount forward for the 25. What is Cody Reed's speed going to be once these drivers get fresh rubber underneath them, as 47 laps in the books as we get ourselves closer and closer to the end of lap 50, where our stage brake yellow will be thrown. Currently, Cedric Hunter's got the lead comfortably. Rest of the field is trying to crack into our top 10, really not close to John Forbes. Everyone looks to be pretty settled in, as Tyler Horn trying to stay on the lead lap before we get to the end of this stage. The 26 got a lot of work to do to try to stay where he's at for the next 3 laps.
That he does. He's going to try to hold on to that for sure, Sam. He does not want to have to take the lucky dog, because if he takes a lucky dog, he's at the tail end of the longest line, and just sets you up for weird things where he could possibly gain spots on pit road to some of these guys. But it's definitely getting closed down. But the battle for 5th is on, or 6th, sorry, is on, as Vincent Sora to the inside of the 00 Thomas Green back here. He's looking to break into the top 6, and if anything, Cassidy and the 2 Cochrane make contact up ahead, and they're sideways.
They're going to get sideways, and now it's going to be given an opening for Vincent Sora or for Thomas Green to try to set up the pass on Danny Cochran. That little slide is going to give an opening. Now Green going to give a slight tap to the 2. Too much speed, and Vincent Sora now going to be thrown to the inside. Better run, better positioning, slightly using that yellow line, and the battle for who's going to be inside of the top 5 is on. Vincent Sora, Danny Cochran, the slight contact the 2 made to the 17 just a lap ago makes things slightly interesting here. It is wide open for 5th place. Vincent Sora thought maybe he was out of touch for a top 5 here at the end of the stage. Instead, he is almost fully clear as we're on the last lap of the stage. Once the top 10 drivers have crossed the line, yellow flag will be thrown. Cedric Hunter is clear, but the battle for 5th, it looks to be the 15's number.
That it does. Looks like he's got it. Does the 2 fights back for just a second. Down here in the 3, though, I think the 15 going to be able to hold on to this, as the bottom's just too good through the center. Vincent Sora, patient approach up the 5th here in the first run.
He saw Danny Cochran giddy up and go, but that will not be enough to finish for a top 5 finish. Instead, we're going to be giving it to the 15. Yellow flag is out. That's the stage, and Cedric Hunter will be your Morecast stage winner here tonight. Congratulations to the 7 machine. John Forbes will get last place in points, but your top 10 will be here lined up. Your Morecast stage winners: Cedric Hunter going to be 1st, Josh Kanata 2nd, Cody Reed 3rd, 4th goes to Mason Cassidy, Vincent Sora 5th, 6th goes to Danny Cochran, Thomas Green 7th, 8th we find Nick Crawford, Justin Campbell 9th, and 10th we find John Forbes. That's where your bonus points will be divvied out after tonight's race. And Zach, that was exactly what we thought we were going to see. Some great action once we got the 2 and the 15 further up on the grid.
That it was some great action. And even for the 10th place position, GT Azari and John Forbes, they were side by side crossing the line. So wild stuff, Sam. Very interesting to see some of those drivers that got the penalties really climb through. But Cedric Hunter, I think he might even be the biggest surprise for me. Normally not showing that short run and qualifying speed. He's normally one of the drivers that works his way through the field. But tonight, it's been a flawless effort from that team.
As the drivers enter into pit road, going to get their service done. 4 tires and fuel is expected for everyone here. And once the service is done, we're expecting at least 1 pit stop from here on out to finish out this race. As everyone enters their box, you don't want to slide through your box. You easily can lose time if you slide too far forward. Everyone looks to be good as, oh no, the 51 of Matthew Greathouse missing his box. He'll have to come in next time around.
Big loss of time there for him. It's like Cedric Hunter going to win the race off of pit road after winning that stage. And what a stage it was, man. Some great races. Ooh, just Norse there. With those tires there on the exit of pit road.
Getting a little bit close to one another, but these drivers certainly putting on a great show. And one driver that wants to talk to us, let's see if we can talk to our Morecast winner, the 7 of Cedric Hunter, winner of the stage. Cedric, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. Congratulations, you are the Morecast stage winner here tonight. How's that truck feeling here this evening?
It's feeling good. If I had to take it back to the garage, I'd probably dial a few more clicks towards putting the brakes a little bit further to the rear, but otherwise it feels really good. I'll say that the pace tonight has really surprised me. I'm usually not that great on flat tracks, and this is only the 2nd time I've ever ran at this track. So, as long as we can keep the lead, I know we have my two teammates that got the EOL that would have really been hauling their way through the field. So I think they'll probably be my main competition tonight, but hopefully we have the pace to at least keep them behind us.
That was going to be my question there, Cedric. Is you got your teammate Vincent Soren, Danny Cochran. I mean, they both. One of them cracks into the top 5, while the other one just outside of it, and definitely showing some fast times. But do you feel like the clean air and the advantage of being out front is going to be what helps you, have the better advantage of holding them off?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know how these trucks are. We saw them last week at Phoenix. Like, if you're the leader, you have such a massive, advantage. I'm kind of worried. Obviously, they have the experience so far of racing in dirty air. I haven't gotten the chance to do that yet this race. So if they do get to me, and if I make a mistake or they somehow get around me, like, I'm worried about trying to get the position back. But but hopefully dirty air reigns supreme and we get to hold off first place.
Well, we're hoping that this speed continues on. Cedric, congratulations on being our stage winner, and good luck on this restart.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
As that will be the 7 machine of Cedric Hunter, who is coming off a pretty good finish on Wednesday night in the WSSR Cup Series, and hoping to continue that momentum to be carried over into tonight. But again, his teammates lingering behind, back in 5th and 6th position. But we get ourselves prepared. No more stage racing. It's all about the finish now. Who will win the Milwaukee 140 here tonight? As the field is set, pace car about to make the hard left-hander to pit road. The ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series has been a blast here this evening, as race number 6 is back underway, as the 7 of Cedric Hunter gets a great launch. Kanata trying to keep it close, but it's spinning out in the back. That looks to be Dakota Moniz out of control. Will stay green, but chaos further on back. A bizarre moment for the 5 as their drivers exit out of turn number 2.
Tough break for Dakota, who's not going to get a caution for this. So he gets the truck spun back around. I mean, he's going to be 16, 17 seconds behind the leaders. Is such a tough break here. You're going to see here on a replay of what happened here. I don't know if it was a stack up or what, Sam, but we'll get to see, because here they come to the zone, and it looks like a little bit of stack up, and he gets right into the backup by the 24 Fonseca.
And trouble on the front stretch as we go back to live. Nick Crawford gets spun around for the 74. And the driver's trying to exit out of the corner. It looks to be clipped by Nick Crawford. Trouble. And I believe it's some teammate on teammate action. That's the 38 of Christopher Norris behind Nick Crawford.
We'll see exactly what happened, but I actually think something else happened here, Sam. As you want to see here, look at this. We're going to come around the corner here, and all of a sudden, the 74 is just going to break loose there. I don't know if the shift when maybe he was shifting from 3rd to 4th there, and it went to 2nd, because the rear end hops all of a sudden, and it sounds like people are saying that. It sounds like he went to not from 3rd to 4th, he went from, looks like 3rd to 2nd.
And just like that, when people are using H patterns, they can get themselves in a tricky spot. It looks like exactly that's what happened to 74 of Nick Crawford. It's going to be bringing out our 2nd caution of the day, and that's going to help out Dakota Moniz get back into the fight for the 5, and as well for Samuel Garcia, going to be able to get at least 1 lap back for the 50 machine, as that will be our 3rd caution this evening. We've had 11 caution laps, but no lead change. It has been all Cedric Hunter up front for now. Well, as this is our 3rd caution of the day, we are actually going to take our first commercial break of the night. You're watching the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series, the ISRC Milwaukee 140 here tonight. Thank you so much for joining with us. The Season 5 Race 6 is underway. Who can figure out to get ahead of the 7 Cedric Hunter? Well, we'll find out when we come back after this.
are back here, everybody, at the ISRC Truck Series as we are live at the Milwaukee Mile. My name is Zach Call up in the booth, and we'll also be joined by Robert Moyer here in a few moments as he's going to get all of his stuff set up here in the background as Sam had to step away for a moment. We'll have Sam Dyer back here later in the race, but we got Robert Moyer Jr. here with me, but we're watching this battle go down as it looks like Cedric Hunter with the win from the stage has had a good restart, but Robert, I think he's going to have to watch out because that 2 and that 15, they're up to 4th and 5th now. And even Cody Reed, he showed a lot of speed in that first run.
Yeah, that first run looked pretty awesome. Happy to join you up here in the booth here tonight until Sam gets back. But just about 2 laps ago there, Cedric Hunter put down the fastest lap of the race. But, you know, that's just the fastest lap of the race. Like you said, we're going to be keeping an eye on here on Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora, you know, John, these guys here are, you know, in that run that you're saying, they look pretty fast here, but, you know, you don't want to wear out these tires either trying to get there because, you know, the first run that we seen there was a pretty long run for the whole race, and it looked like the tires leveled out a little bit, and, you know, for a lot of these drivers, except for, like you said, Vincent Sora and Danny Cochran, their tires seemed like they were lasting just a little bit longer.
Definitely did a good job to nurture the tires in as they made passes. As you can see, here's the likes of John Forbes. He's made his way up to 8th there after his 10th place finish there in the stage with his penalties that he had to bounce back from. As you can see behind that group, looks like Christopher Norris now racing the likes of Jared Talmadge for that 11th and 12th position as Talmadge just kind of stayed around that zone as Christopher Norris was right in that zone also there fighting for stage points late, but looks like now a little bit of struggle off of 2. That's going to allow Anthony Gaudio to get up to the inside here and then on the back straightaway. But I don't think Gaudio is going to be fully alongside enough to make the move, but he's going to open up the door himself, and Norris is going to have to slide up the track and just let the 3 make the move.
Yeah, it looked like Christopher Norris just moved up the track and left Anthony Gaudio there in that number 3 machine, a TWR-sponsored machine. Looked like he just moved up and got out of the way. Now we got Aaron Kralik here. He's going to try to do the same thing, but Christopher Norris says, nope, I'll let 1 driver by, but I'm not letting 2 by right now.
Found that slot, and he wants to stay there as he rides behind. But we'll look at Travis Everett now behind the likes of his teammate Curtis Preston here in the 16th position. But he's got Noah Steele all over the back bumper in the 8 machine here threatening him. But this 13 definitely, you should just see if he could have a breakout run at some point here, Robert. Like we said, we've seen them at other leagues perform very, very well, and you can see at some point once they get comfortable around this competition, it could be up there performing well. But right now, Steele looking to the inside. I think he's going to have the move done here heading down to 3.
Yeah, it looks like Noah Steele's going to have that position on that number 13 machine. But yeah, we, like you were saying here, as we're looking at Ali Fonseca here in that number 24, he's looking to do something there with Everett. But yeah, we've seen these guys in other leagues, Curtis Preston, you know, Everett, and GT Arizari, and we know what kind of speed these guys have. But it just has not carried over this season for that team. I'm sure they're trying to figure it out week in and week out, but it's just not clicking there right now with them.
Not yet, but we'll give them some time for sure. It's always something they can figure out in racing. As you can see, Tyler Dingler back here in the 21st position, just outside the top 10, ahead of that 6 Justin Smith. But I tell you where it really is starting to heat up a lot, Robert, and that's around the 2nd and 3rd position. Kanata, he's been under threat here for multiple laps, but now Reed, he's got the likes of Danny Cochran and Vincent Sora, and I watched Reed that last run. He was so good on the long run, but now he has the threat of maybe the 2 fastest trucks in the field right on the back bumper. Could that make him overwork his equipment? I think if Cedric Hunter has any best friends, he's hoping that Kanata and Reed hold his teammates up.
Yeah, I was just ready to say, they want them to hold them up, you know, try to burn off their tires a little bit so, you know, the speed just equals out a little bit. But yeah, right now we're watching Danny Cochran and Vincent Sora with the fastest laps on the track right now too, and these guys are they're battling hard. Now the question is I remember watching Danny Cochran on that last big run stint that we had, Zach. You know, his truck started getting a little bit of loose. He bumped into somebody and, you know, he lost all that position there, you know, to Vincent Sora. He gained it back apparently probably under pits, or he made the pass over Vincent. But can he figure out what he did in that first stint so he doesn't burn off them rear tires again?
I think that'll be a good question. And, right here, I don't think the urgency is as high as before. I think that urgency is dropped because they gained the track position. They now can see the leader, but within a second, they are in the fight, so to say. Where in that first stage, I think Cochran really felt like using the tires up was going to be the best bet. And this time, we'll see if it comes back to be a little bit better for him on that longer run. But right now, he wanted to take a chance to pass Reed. Reed was not letting it happen. This is just allowing this front group to continue to battle, and Cedric Hunter's loving what he sees. Even Kanata is loving what he sees in his mirror. He's like, go ahead, keep using your stuff up. I'm just going to ride around here.
Well, yeah, I mean, just watching what Cedric Hunter's doing right now, and as we know Cedric Hunter, you guys said it, on the stage break-in earlier, the long run with Cedric Hunter. I didn't see the short run coming from Cedric. He's normally not good with short runs, but right now he's got this track just figured out. He's the fastest truck out there. He's pulling away from these guys, and I believe the longer that these guys battle, as we were watching Danny Cochran just push Cody Reed through turn 3 and 4 there, Zach. But back to Cedric, the longer this run goes, the tires burn down, and I see the next 20 laps, Cedric Hunter pulling away, and I believe these guys running second, third, fourth, fifth, all these guys, they know that. They know that. They seen it in the first run, and I think they're going to try to push it maybe just a little bit harder, but, only time will tell.
Only time will tell. We'll see if that gap grows like it did last time for Cedric Hunter, or do the others behind continue to close it down. We'll have to see, but right now, Reed definitely under the biggest threat, with Cochran trying to take advantage of it. He's opening himself up to the 15 of Vincent Sora, who right now stuck in that 5th position, just riding along. I think, though, if you're at 15, you like, again, where you're at. You're within distance of the leader, and you have time available to you to be able to go up here. But right now, Cochran again looking to the inside here in 3 and 4. Reed, though, just the great defense and making everything that much harder. It just shows you, Cochran and them were able to make the moves up front and, through the mid-pack of the field, but they were, once they've gotten up here to the farther to the front of the field, passes just get that much tougher with the competition level. And Reed just being a thorn in the side of the team.
Oh, he'd be more than a thorn. If I was Danny Cochran, I'm like, come on, man, just give me the room, give me the space. As we're going to look at now, Vincent Sora trying to duck underneath Danny Cochran there. Now we got these two guys battling, but he's not going to be able to get that position right away. But man, oh man, these top 3 guys, man, and that's just pulling the back of the field closer and closer and closer too, behind Vincent Sora here, as that's Mason Cassidy, Justin Campbell, John Ford, Thomas Green, GT Arizari in the top 10 here, Zach. So these guys are not out of it yet, but right now Danny Cochran's got to be just frustrated, because you can see him just right in the back of Cody Reed.
He's doing everything that he needs to do to try to make the pass. It's just not been there yet, and I think what's going to come next is you're going to see it right there in the center corner, the bump and the bang. But the thing is, Reed took it so well that it opened the door for Vincent Sora to look to the inside, and Reed is just doing a great job. He's just running his line. He's not doing anything egregious here. He's just trying his best to hold on to his position, and he knows if he gives it up to Cochran, it's going to be tough to get it back. So that's why you got to fight like this, and Reed, Cochran, Sora putting on a show. They're bringing in Cassidy right into line also.
Oh, most definitely. Like you said there, that bump shot that we just seen here, and I believe we're going to get another one here from, yep, there's another one, and he took it very, very well coming out of turn 2 there, and you can see the gap that it just pulls on it. And then, Danny can't, in that Larry Art's production machine, he cannot, get back to him, and then he gets him in 3 and 4, but he can't do nothing with him right now. Nope. Now he's going to look on the inside now to what Cody Reed do, Zach. Is he going to give him a position? And Danny's going to dive that thing in there.
And he is. Cochran drove it in deep. Now the 25 putting it on the door of the 2. Out of the exit of 2, and the 25 is going to have the run, but the 2 stays alongside with the side draft and close, tighten it, racing down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. I think this is, if you're Cochran, this is your chance here. Off of 4 is the best place to set up a pass, and it looks like he has a good enough run to keep it alongside. but still just not enough to clear, and they're touching doors on the start-finish line.
And this is awesome racing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the show here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, make sure you hit that like and share button to your friends and family. But my, oh my, what a show we got going on here with Cody Reed and Danny Cochran. And now the question is how hard is this burning off Cody Reed's tires? He knows he's got to stay in front of that number 2 machine. Danny Cochran made an aggressive move to get under him, and I think he's eventually in a lap or 2 here. He's going to get him, but is that going to open up the door for Vincent Sora there and Mason Cassidy to come, into it, as Cody Reed's still not giving up here yet, Zach?
And he is not staying side by side with the two. And these two dead even, dooring each other down the straightaway. And if you're the 2, I think at some point he's just going to send it so much that he did right there, almost where he's got to clear or door bang the 25 up out of the second groove to allow him to pass. And it's going to have to get physical, I think, here, unfortunately, for this 2 machine if he wants to get this passed anytime soon, because they're just seeing Kanata, Cedric Hunter drive away, and even Vincent Sawyer here saying, you guys are going to have to get this settled.
He's saying either they're going to get this settled or I'm going to take you 3 wide. I mean, he's in the back going, I got the run. These guys are door banging left and right, hitting each other. And Vincent Sora's like you said, he's like, well, here we go. We're going to look 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. And Vincent Sora did not get the run, but I don't think Vincent Sora's backing down. If he has to take a 3 wide, Zach, he's going to take it.
Oh, and he's almost into the back of his teammate. I think Sora right here just got the superior drive through the center of the corner right now, and Cochran going to clear here. This is a huge moment because the Reed would love to dive below the 2 here with the run he has, but with Vincent Sora alongside, it covers that off. And now the 25 trying to get back to the center of the corner, back to the 2, but just can't. This is stacking up this group, and they're losing so much time.
Look, I said that about 4 laps ago, Zach. They're going to be losing time because now here comes Mason Cassidy. He's going to be looking in here. Cody Reed is stuck on the high side. That's got to be burning up them tires. I know he doesn't want to be in that outside group. He's got speed up there, but it's just not the line that you want to be in right now. It's just burning up them tires, trying to hold off all these guys because now he's got Mason Cassidy right behind him. And then we got John Forbes coming in the picture. We got Justin Campbell now coming in the picture. Justin Campbell and John Forbes they're going at it here back and forth with each other. My, oh my, do we got some good racing going on, ladies and gentlemen.
That we do side by side again for that 4th position. Now Sora on the outside of Reed. Don't know how they're flip-flopping like they are, but they are, as Sora been trying to get clear of this 25, just hasn't been able to do it as his teammate has kind of scampered away. You can see her coming off of 4, though, loose for the 25, who has fought so hard to hold off these 2 here. It's just not going to pay off now, as he's going to have the 14 to his outside and the 25 having a tough time keeping that car from sliding up that racetrack.
Yeah, you can see it coming out. Now he gets back in the line. Mason Cassidy's going to follow him right behind, but Mason Cassidy's just going to push him down the backstretch into 3. My God, these guys are all over. What great racing, Zach. This is just fun to watch how these guys are just all over each other. They're bumping, they're banging, they're door slamming each other, and they're keeping their trucks straight, and they're going at it. But I wanted to go back and talk about a little bit of that last caution. We got, Nick Crawford back here running in 24th position, and he lost a lot of positions now, and unfortunately he's way back now.
Very interesting to see, and from where they pitted, it's been 29 laps on a tank of fuel for him, so almost 30 here when they come by to complete lap 90 of this race. I'm just questioning, can he stretch the fuel to the 140 distance? That we've seen Nick Crawford do some interesting things, and with him this far behind the field, I'm questioning if that's the case.
Yeah, well, everybody up all the way down to 15th place, Nick, Christopher Norris here. They're on a stint of 37 laps. He's on a stint of 29 laps. So, yeah, there's a big difference there. And if we stay green, that might be what he's doing. But he keeps brushing that wall going down the backstretch there, Zach.
That they do, and it's been some amazing racing. And Robert, got to thank you for your time up here. But it seems like we've got Sam back with us. And Sam, I'll tell you what, man, it has been going wild.
Oh, it's been wild. It was a pleasure listening both to you, Zach, and Robert. Thanks for stepping in for me as we continue to have the great racing up front. Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora, the teammates are back at it with one another. Behind as well, Cody Reed still trying to defend over Mason Cassidy if possible. But, you know, to Robert's point about Nick Crawford so far back, I think he is. I mean, running about anywhere from 2 to 3 tenths off. Crawford could be going for that save the fuel as much as possible strategy.
That he possibly could. I didn't get fuel numbers this week. That is my bad, folks, on that. I should have been prepared for that. But, you know, that is really one of the things I can think that Crawford would try to pull off. We know it from him. If he's going to do something, he's going to do something off the wall, especially after he lost all that track position with that simple mistake like that he made of the shift. And we'll see how it comes back to play for him. But you can see the battle on screen. We get to see some battles of the weather as that wind continuing to be around 12 to 13 mile an hour there, Sam.
It's been fluctuating back and forth. Anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour is the wind. The track time's been staying around 90 here tonight. It's not bad. It's gone down 1 degree as we hop on board with Justin Campbell, 8th place runner at the moment. And Campbell's in a spot trying to set up how to get by Cody Reed. Again, noted on the fact that Cody's tires very worn down. He has been breaking loose off the exit of turn 4 the last 3 to 4 laps and still trying to find some steadiness in that 25 machine as it continue to bounce off the exit of the corner. Right now, Zach, it is all survival mode as we're inching closer and closer to 40 laps to go here tonight.
That we are inching closer and closer to that margin, and I'm interested to see when they'll decide to pit here when we get close to this 40 to go marker, because I know for a fact they won't be able to make it, you know, where they've pitted before, but you know, Crawford's only going to be considered definitely for an opportunity to make that happen. But you can see here on the front bumper of the 9, we may get a caution at some point with how close this race is going on right here with this group, and that makes the question of that pit stop even that much more.
Yeah, I mean, more of a, do you bank on a caution flag to come out, or do you come in and split this section in half? Because we're about 3 laps away from this run being split in half, and already one answer. Christopher Norris has entered pit road for the 38. Going to go with the undercut pit stops, pitting before all the drivers in front of him. That 38 going with the risky call as the battle for third. Danny Cochran, Vincent Sora trying to rip the top as Cochran keeps his pedal to the metal on the inside, and these teammates, they're willing to rough each other's feathers if they have to. The question is, are they willing to do it this late into a run that we have been now 96 laps in this race, still have over 40, going to be 44 laps to go tonight. You don't want to throw away the race just yet, knowing that you're still in touching distance if you guys can get this squabble figured out on who's the lead driver.
And it looks like Vincent Sora going to command that with Danny Cochran there, I think, seeing, you know what, we're racing side by side, it's just slowing us down. Go ahead, Vinny, go ahead and see if you could run down our teammate and Josh Wickenow up there, because Cochran, I think with that battle with Reed, definitely used up those tires. Now Reed again continuing his battles as Campbell trying to take advantage of that.
As Campbell and Cody Reed go back and forth, GT Rosari trying to make his way forward for Christopher Norris, who pitted. This field is so spread out. 38 actually is just behind these drivers as GT tries to get underneath, not able to do so. But the 38 of Christopher Norris, he's got to use these tires quickly and efficiently, as well as trying to unlap himself. The 38 is just behind this group, working on the outside and moving forward. And Zach, looking at Norris, the way he's got to use his tires for this run, this could be a losing fight for the 38, who's the only driver 1 lap down currently.
This is the worst case scenario. You come out right in traffic and you don't get the groove that you want. You got to push around them too, because you got to clear them quickly. If you get held up behind somebody, you're just losing time that you were trying to gain by pitting this early. So if you're Christopher Norris, isn't that what he wants to see? But he's trying to do it methodically. And right now he's going to clear that 9, but have his teammate Reed here try to work around next. There's not too many more cars to go, but it's definitely going to have a factor. It looks like Cedric Hunter comes in with the early stop.
Leader to pit road, Cedric Hunter making his stop just a couple of laps after Christopher Norris has made his go. I think this is probably the biggest surprise of the night. The 7 being the first of our top 10 drivers to enter pit road. You don't see that very often. But Cedric Hunter obviously wants to keep the track position and build it up, and that's going to force the rest of the field to enter pit road. Kanata, Sora, Danny Cochran, a whole pile of drivers entering the lap after our leader does.
I like the call, actually. You know, he is forced to enter the field with the gap he had, and look at all the people on pit road. This pit road's so busy, and he's going to come out with some pretty clear track. He's going to have a nice sizable gap just to fill his tires in. And man, I got to give Cedric Hunter credit there. That is a gutsy call to when you're the leader to make one of the first stops up front. But you see how it forced everybody's hand. They couldn't let him get out there too early. And it was about, 45 to 47 laps into the run. It looks like Vincent Sora has some issues for him. He's still on pit road.
Vincent Sora, black flag, speeding on entry. It's a 40-second hold. Sora's going to go at least 2 laps down, if not more, with this pit stop in. Right in one fell swoop, Vincent Sora, trying to be the only driver to win at this course, might be up in smoke. We might be seeing a new winner here at Milwaukee.
That we could. And if you're Cedric Hunter, that's his teammate, so he knows that Vincent got that penalty. That's got to calm him a little bit and know, hey, man, that is probably one of the fastest trucks to keep behind you. Now your focus is holding off Kanata and hoping this thing cycles through here for yourself.
Cycling through, still out on track, Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge, Matthew Greathouse, Noah Steele. When will they make their stop? Currently, it's Nick Crawford and others still out on track. Again, Crawford has given up over 18 seconds, you could say, on giving up time instead of trying to fight his way forward. We believe the 74 as well as the 73 are going the strategy of saving fuel instead of coming into pit road, and gutsy calls all around. And where Cedric Hunter runs currently, Hunter out 5, make it 6.5 seconds away from Crawford. So Crawford looks to be in the losing battle with the amount of time that he's given up compared to the fresh tires that Cedric Hunter's put down. And like you said, saw a couple of laps ago, the 7 putting down the fastest lap of the day.
Man, oh man, Cedric Hunter not wasting no time to go. Is now Mason Cassidy. He's going to flash up to the top of the board at 29.93, and it's just crazy to say because, yeah, the track temp has dropped, but that is faster than what we qualified at. So it just shows you how fast everybody is going right now, and everybody is putting it on the line. Is see Crawford here in this 6th position behind Freed, not too far ahead of Cedric Hunter. It's going to be a given time before this is a done deal.
Still our top 7 needing to hit pit road. Fastest driver now, give it to Joshua Kanata. That's a 29.8 that just got put down. Kanata with the fast lap, trying to run down Cedric Hunter. And with Cedric Hunter pitting the lap before Kanata, the gap has now ballooned out. Instead of just a 1.5 difference, it's now 2.5 seconds, the difference between 8th and 9th place runners at this moment. Gap that Cedric Hunter loves to see as they continue to race forward and waiting for this pit cycle to fully commit through. We're still waiting on the good margin of 7 drivers to come to pit road. Those 7 being Cody Reed, Talmadge, Greathouse, Steele, Freed, Crawford, and Malarkey. All still need to hit pit road. And Zach, I mean, if you know you're in some pretty bad track position, you might as well stay out until you run out of fuel.
I completely agree with you there, Sam. You might as well stretch it because at anything, if you get a caution here before anything, you're going to have track position, and we see what track position can do is Reed here continuing to lead the field. I'm more surprised by him, how long he stayed out with where he was racing, but I think Reed knows that, man, it was a tough run there with Al Hardy had to battle some of those guys that hurt his tires, that his only shot for a win here tonight is to stay out.
Staying out, hoping for some luck. Tonight's race, I mean, you got to give credit to the whole entire field. The first time they ran here back in season 1, this race had a lot of cautions that kept on coming out, a total of 20 during that race. And it was Vincent Sora that won under our 3rd overtime attempt here tonight. Looking a lot more promising that we might be able to stay clean and green, but still waiting on drivers to hit pit road if needed. And Zach, this race completely different from, I think, what might have been predicted coming into tonight's race.
That it is. I think it's kind of, really surprised me with how green this has been. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want no yellow to come out here. I'd like for it to play out the way it is because I think these guys are just having such an excellent race. It's actually right now Kanata and Cochran, as you see here, Cedric Hunter going to make the likes of Nick Crawford and Freed to make this pass. It's the battle for what would be second when this all cycles through. Cochran makes the move and is past Kanata. That's huge for the 2.
Joshua Kanata trying to fight back for the 16 on the 2, but Danny Cochran too quick with it, able to make the pass. And now going to be able to slot his way forward. And I take that back. Joshua Kanata dives it down below, trying to make the pass on once this pit cycle goes through. This would be the battle for second place, as Danny Cochran, who has been fighting all night long to be moving forward after starting this race with an end-of-the-line penalty, as well with John Forbes and Vincent Soar. They all looked so strong moving through the field. And now Joshua Kanata trying to hold back the 2, but looks to be too much of a fight to hold back. And now also other drivers entering pit road. Greathouse makes his stop. Dakota Moniz stays high and getting by more traffic as the 2 with the 16 trying to run down Cedric Hunter.
That they do. They just see that 13 scampering away as they were battling, but the 2 of Cochran knows, I've driven from the rear of this field now. I finally got clean track, and I can see the leader, and he doesn't have the likes of the 25er Reed who held him up more than anybody. So I think he's going to have a good shot here to run him down.
Trying to run forward. As the 2 makes his charge forward. Another driver to keep note on. John Forbes has the freshest tires of this group, and the 11 looks quick. He is closing in. That last lap was about a tenth faster than this whole entire group. And the 11 now on the back bumper of Joshua Kanata. How much will tires be thrown away? Because John Forbes looks to be the mad dog to watch out for as they continue to fight forward. Fastest laps being put down of everyone in our what should be our top 5. Going to be Cedric Hunter the fastest, Danny Cochran second fastest. But watch out for the 11. He is just as quick as our top 2 drivers right now. As you can see, Forbes is focused and ready to make the final dash if possible. But he first needs to get by and get around the 16 of Joshua Kanata.
It's harder said than done, as you can see the 11, just the focus that he's trying to put in here to try to make this maneuver. Because he knows he's got the advantage on tires. He can't let those tires slip away. But right now, as he's caught up to the 16 of Kanata, you can see it just gets so much harder to make passes happen when you're in this traffic like this with the air. And right now, Forbes really struggling once he's gotten to the 16. He's going to have to find some way to get either to the quarter panel on the outside of the 16. As you can see, he's actually taking a look here through the center and off. But he's going to need to get it done quick because Danny Cochran's running away.
Trying to hold steady as much as you can. Looking at drivers where they're running right now. Cody Reed still out on track. Same for Jared Talmadge and Noah Steele. When will they make their stop? Same for Joshua Freed, who's still out there on track. Justin Malarkey has fallen all the way down to 13th, yet to pit. As you can see, the battling of drivers that are all around, and they're all chasing the 25 of Cody Reed, yet to hit pit road. You see Noah Steele trying his way to stay ahead, if possible, of Cedric Hunter, but it's a losing battle when you've got a major difference on tires, let alone the fact that the 7 machine has no worries of having to pit again.
That he does. He has no worries about that now as he's getting the steal. He wants to make sure he makes this pass nice and efficient here, Sam. Doesn't want to get held up with still going up the racetrack like that. It's very easy for him just to make the nice clean pass and go on by to take what would be the lead when this all cycles through. Reed, Jarrett Talmadge, Noah Steele yet to pit here. We'll see when they decide to flinch to come down. It's Cochran right now is closing the gap a little bit between him and Hunter.
Closing the gap down, and now the battle for John Forbes able to finally get to the inside of the 16 of Joshua Kanata, and will finally be able to clear, not fully making the pass just yet, as the group with the 11 finally able to make that exit on into turn number 3 and puts his sights out. Can he run down the likes of the 2 of going to be the 2 of Danny Cochran for John Forbes? Other drivers getting very mixy with one another on different groups that, if we do see a caution, might be around 15th. We got a cluster about 5 drivers all on top of one another. Some lead lap drivers, some lap down crew. And this could change everything if these drivers are not playing nice. That's around 15th, 16th, and 17th position. Ollie Fonseca, Christopher Norris, these 2 have some stories, some rivalries around one another, and they're trying to finish it out to the end of this race as well. Let's see the 15 of Vincent Sora trying to make his march forward and hoping to be the first car 1 lap down.
That Sora isn't the caution's out.
Caution's out. Noah Steele, trouble for the 8 machine. as he's into pit road, trying to figure out if there's any other issues out on course. And yellow flag changes everything.
That does, Sam. I'm trying to find that myself. Oh, it looks like maybe Samuel Garcia in the 50 machine. Looks like maybe he's spun coming off the 4.
These drivers were making their charge. It was Garcia. Spins off of 4. Travis Everett was on track. Oncoming traffic will bring out the yellow, just a simple self spin, and away the 50 goes. And this caution, 20 laps to go, and we reset, we restack, and we get ready for the chaos to finish out this race. Thought there weren't any cautions to this point. We'll get ready for some more drama as majority of the field hits pit road. 4 fresh tires, and it's Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge. They'll be the front drivers that first hit their boxes.
This is huge right here. Cedric Hunter not going to have the lead for the first time, I believe, tonight from when a restart happened. So he's going to be restarting probably wherever he comes out. But Reed and Talmadge stayed out, and they might have won the lottery here, Sam, with this race.
You stay out. You hope that you're going to get the timings to lock in. And it will be Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge, your starting 2 on this restart with less than 20 laps to go. Talked about, hey, you needed some luck to get into victory lane, and it lines up perfectly for Cody Reed. Looking at some drivers, though, Vincent Sora, the timing for that yellow was necessary. It looks like for the 15, going to be trying to go for the wave around, and he's going to need another quick caution, and maybe a lot more drivers getting piled up into a wreck if he wants to get into a fight to win tonight. But this field is set up to now. Cedric Hunter, kind of his one fear has just popped up. He's going to be in traffic for this next restart. And Danny Cochran, who's been the most aggressive, will be to his outside on this restart.
He's got to hope to be able to really get a good jump here, Sam, to hopefully follow the 25 through. I think if the 25 starts on the bottom, you're still pretty hopeful if you're Cedric Hunter to have an opportunity to race for this. But if that 25 starts up top, that gives the outside just that much more rolling speed. You get stuck behind possibly the 10 there, and this could get interesting. But don't even count the 10 out at the same time. I mean, Jared Talmadge, we've seen him in the past. He's had speed, and he's an aggressive driver. He will make sure it is going to be tough for these guys to get around.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Talmadge coming into this season, one of our drivers that came back. We've got a long list of drivers that came back to run this season at some point. I mean, Eric Kralik came back. Brandon Colley raced a few races in the beginning of the season. Vincent Sora, Jesse Thornock, Cedric Hunter, Jared Talmadge, Thomas Green. A long list of past running drivers that have come back to this season. And it's a pleasure to see them all back out there on track. And Jared Talmadge, a former winner of this series, hoping to get another win under his belt if possible here this evening.
That he is. We'll see if he can get it done here, Sam. This is going to be the golden opportunity for him for sure. They hit the lottery, him and Cody Reed, with staying out, and that's why you did it. You know, there was no other reason to do it. They weren't going to make it to the end. Others went aggressive and said, you know, we want to race for the win here if it stays green. They took the chance, rolled the dice, because they could have had a very bad finish. Now they have an opportunity to go to win this thing.
Trying to get into victory lane. That's what this field's looking for. It's tonight. The field is set and ready to get back to green flag racing. Waited for the yellow, got the yellow. Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge will be your front row. Cedric Hunter has been dominating here tonight. We'll be starting in third. Danny Cochran, who's been the biggest mover of moving through this field from where he started, going to be in fourth. Pace car into pit road. Less than 20 laps to go, and the ISRC Milwaukee 140 is back underway. Cody Reed takes us down into turn number 1.
That he does. We'll see what he can do with the clean air now available to him, as Talmadge is going to try to fight to the outside of the 7 of Cedric Hunter, and he will have the positioning here down the back straightaway, and Forbes is going to have a run. He might look 3 wide. Cedric Hunter's going to throw the block on entry.
Cedric Hunter going to be throwing the block on the 11, holding back the momentum, and the speed drivers, though, going to be getting into one another. Pushing up is Joshua Freed, who caused a slight contact, slip, slide, and let the caution flag reign as we will reset and stack him up as the 39 got himself pushed out of line, spun around, and tried his best to keep it sideways, but it looked to be contact. between Freed and potentially Christopher Norris here through the likes of 3 and 4.
Everybody getting super aggressive here. 3 wide going into the middle, into 3 and 4. You got Irizarry on the bottom, Norris in the middle there, and it just kind of squeezes up into Freed, who those two go for a slide, and Freed gonna do the slow little half spin here, and that's gonna bring out the yellow. But that's the moves we're gonna see from throughout the rest of this race. I would not be surprised if we see a few more of these yellow flags fly, because it's going to get very physical here. Drivers know what's on the line now.
Yeah, I mean, we got drivers that are also going to be able to get fresh rubber. I mean, Vincent Sora now going to be back on the lead lap, going to be able to come into pit road, get fresh rubber. He's going to have to force it 3 wide a couple of times if he wants to move forward, get into our top 15, if not a top 10. We got Thomas Green back in 18th place, Christopher Norris back in 17th. These are drivers that qualified well, that are deeper in the field, that we know have the short run pace. They've got to figure out how to get through this madness. Is Dakota Moniz going to get a lap back for the 5 machine? Will be back on the lead lap, giving us 26 drivers on the lead lap. Samuel Garcia has called it a night for the 50 after his spin that brought out the second to last caution. But up front, Cody Reed. Cody got a great launch, but now with Cedric Hunter on the outside, this is going to be interesting for the 7. How does he want to tackle this restart, knowing that, behind still going to be John Forbes and Danny Cochran that are willing, if we get a couple of green flag laps, they're going to attack and make some big moves.
That's going to be the question. Do you like being 3rd? Do you like being 2nd if you're Cedric Hunter? That's, I think, the question that he's going to find out here real quick by being up top here. And I don't think it's the worst position. It is if you get bad timing. If you don't time the restart here and you're not able to at least somewhat stay relevant for that battle going into one for the second place position, then you're going to have a huge issue up top. But I think if he can get a good enough timing here, he should be able to restart and possibly be able to clear Talmadge if he gets a good run through the center of the corner and have an opportunity to fight Reed. But it gets very, very difficult the longer this goes, because people are just going to get more and more aggressive every restart. People are going to try to time more laying back's going to start happening. There's going to be a lot of little things going on here that could cause hiccups for restarting.
As we're getting ready for the 1 to go indicator to be given to this field, we do want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors, as we weren't able to get that in the middle of the broadcast because I had to step away. But we want to say thank you to our title sponsor of Larry Art Productions. Go check out Larry Art Productions on YouTube and Instagram for great comedy and variety YouTube videos. Looking for reviews, also great content to get you hyped up for the ISRC racing. Go check out Larry Art Productions today. Also, want to say a big thank you to our qualifying grid sponsor, Hot Lap Threads. If you're looking to get yourself some great outfits and also merch for sim racing and real life racing apparel, go to hotlapthreads.com today to get some of your swag and get ready for the racing season. And our stage winner becoming our Morecast winner. Go head over to Morecast on Instagram for a variety of NASCAR content, including diecast, memes, and iRacing. Check out Morecast on YouTube for diecast reviews, NASCAR discussions, and more. Thank you to all of the sponsors that help out here at the ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series as we get ourselves prepared. 13, make it 12 laps to go here tonight at the Milwaukee 140. Cedric Hunter, Cody Reed, going to be your front 2. Reed on the inside, going to be the control vehicle as we're back to green flag action. Reed already defending, blocking. Danny Cochran going to send it 3 wide into turn number 1, and they're already trying to take everything they can off the exit of turn 2.
3 wide, like you said. It looks like it's going to be still 3 wide coming off of 2, and they're going to wreck off of 2.
And it's going to be Jared Talmadge once again. The bad luck continues for the 10 as they scatter around in the inside wall. And John Forbes, Danny Cochran, they'll stay with where they're at. And Joshua Kanata thought maybe he was going to advance in position, will not be able to do so. And it's the innocent victim of Jared Talmadge, just nowhere to go for himself, and he loses out on the most on this restart.
That he does here. 90 degrees restart on the bottom. You can see the 2 immediately takes advantage, goes 3 wide. 10 up the racetrack a little bit there, almost up into the 11, but they got very close here off the exit. You'll see coming off the corner, it looks like the 10 just up into the 11 there. It kind of bounces himself off and then into the nose of the 2, and that kind of just spins him down the racetrack. So very interesting incident there. So we'll take a second look at there.
It's just so tough with everyone trying to make it off the exit of the corner. You're hoping you're giving each other enough space to work with. And I know Danny Cochran was trying to give enough space on the inside. You can see all that gap. Talmadge thought maybe he didn't have enough space down there. And, you know, when you don't have a real life spotter telling you, hey, you got more space to go down, we get these types of wrecks and incidences. And you got to give credit to Talmadge keeping it off the inside wall. But all of the track position is now gone, dusted into pit road, getting some tires. You know, at the reset with less than 10 laps to go, gaining a lot of track position, looks to be out of the sights of the 10, but we still have overtime if needed. Again, the one time we've raced here was back in season 1, and we had to use all 3 attempts to finish out our race back then.
I wouldn't be surprised if we need all 3 here tonight. Also, if you know, if you're Cedric Hunter, you're hoping that you can get you a decent run here, because man, he did have an opportunity going into 3 there to be right on the back bumper of the 25 and try to set him up going into 1, but he's just quick yellows like that. He hadn't been able to take a chance, and now, in my opinion, he's in a worse position because he's got John Forbes restarting in 3rd here. Forbes, we know he'll be very aggressive on this restart, and he'll be making sure to be on that gas when Reed goes, because especially their teammates.
Their teammates, and who's going to play nice? Christopher Norris right now trying to settle in on how he wants to move forward, currently in 16th place. And, you know, there's a lot of work if the 38 wants to move forward right now in his who's next just scheme of all the times that he's gotten into vehicles. There might be a few drivers now that are going to be added to that list that have been tapped by Norris, but is 38 trying to get himself in victory lane one of these races in the future. I think for Norris tonight maybe isn't that night, but you look at some of the future tracks, Lime Rock could be one of those courses for this 38. He's been very good at the road courses, but we'll see who can maybe sneak one out here tonight, because I mean, Milwaukee, yes, they've been playing kind of nice, I would say, for the leaders wise, but I'm curious on who's willing to maybe move Cedric, maybe move Cody. Cody's already gotten a few practice shots of someone trying to move him. He's probably the one who's most well-versed for this scenario at this time, coming late to this Milwaukee race.
That is, he looks to be in a very prime position, because he knows exactly what it feels like to get those bumpers laid to him. So we'll see if anybody does. You know, if the light's going off here, we'll go green this next time by. It'll be 7 laps to go. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some type of yellow flag where this pace car has to be utilized once again. But I think here this restart's going to be very, very interesting, Sam, just due to the fact that John Forbes here, Cody Reed on the bottom. I wonder if this is going to play the teammate game of, hey, let's time this together so you can get ahead of this 7 machine, and we'll try to hold them back. Or is Reed thinking, you know what, I can't do that because I know Forbes, he might take an opportunity to go win this race?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when it gets late in the race, you kind of throw out that teammate card. It's all about you. How selfish can you be to get into victory lane? As pace car lights are off, we're going this time by exit of 4. And it's go time. Cody Reed, Cedric Hunter going to be your front runners. Control vehicle going to be the inside of Cody Reed in the 25. Pace car makes the hard left-hander into the restart zone. And we're green with 7 laps to go. If we get another caution, it looks to be we're headed to overtime. They're almost 3 wide again. And it's the similar drivers. It's Danny Cochran, John Forbes, Cedric Hunter is going to be sent going to the 3rd lane. Exit of turn number 2. They keep it all together for now. But Cody Reed trying to just pull away.
2 wide now is Cedric Hunter side by side with the 11 of Forbes as they send it into 3. All of them missing the groove. The 11 way up the racetrack. The 7 can't even get down. Is now Reed loving what he sees because this battle is just holding everybody up.
They continue to stay side by side. 6 laps to go for Cody Reed. John Forbes going to be testing the inner groove. Will he push up the 7 once more? They're going to be almost making contact through the center of the corner. Off the exit, though, give the momentum and the speed of the 7 of Cedric Hunter. They continue to battle their way forward. Danny Cochran nowhere to place himself. Battling back for 5th place, though. Give it to Justin Campbell, who's slowly starting to poke his nose. And Mason Gaston, oh no! Curtis Preston, hard contact to the outside wall.
Nose straight into the wall. The 4 machine of Curtis Preston. His race is pretty much over. And man, oh man, another yellow here, as that was right around, I believe, the 30 of Christopher Norris, the 13 of Travis Everett, the 51 of Matthew Greathouse. There was a lot going on there entering 3. I think we're going to get to see that here, Sam.
And it's going to be seeing the 4. getting a little loose off the exit of the corner. And see the 38 of Christopher Norris on the outside. Well, on the entry of the corner, nose to bumper contact as the 438. I don't know if there was a net coat there, Zach, but it was close between those drivers. The way that that 4 reacted, it looked like it could have been net code, but it was very close between those groups. And Norris's front bumper is getting used up right now.
That it is. You might have to add another to the hit list here, as we're going to see here from the rear end of the 4. And yeah, I don't know if there was a little net code that helped that all that action happen, but definitely a little bit of contact between the 38 and the 4 there. And man, oh man, another yellow. And the way this has shook things up, now Reed still the leader, Forbes up the 2nd, Hunter up the 3rd, and now Cochran into 4th with Campbell up the 5th.
We looked at it, there was no initial net code. There was a slight hooking action of the front bumper, the very tip of the bumper, hooking the 4. That's where that aggressive slingshot happened to Curtis Preston off the nose of Christopher Norris. But with this field, the timing of the yellow, I believe we might be entering overtime for this field as they're still pacing around. 4 laps to go. It's going to be 3 when they cross the line. But we need the lights to click off this go around if we're going to stay inside of regulation with a green-white checkered. Otherwise, if the lights do not go off, we're going to be heading into overtime for this field. And Zach, I think everyone had a feeling overtime was going to be needed with the style of this racetrack. If we had gotten any late cautions like we've been getting here, that it was just going to set up this type of a racing action. And pace car lights are still on. Looks like we're going to be heading into overtime for this field.
Looks like it will be overtime situation here. Whew, Sam, I tell you, it's nerve-wracking, I think, for not only for me personally, so I know the drivers out there have got to be feeling it. When you get down to these late race restarts, anything can happen. Your position is kind of up in the air. Even you're sitting 5th, 4th place positions like this, you're saying, I want to go for the win, but also I just kind of want to finish where I'm at. So it's definitely a weird position to be in, but we'll see how they all figure it out once we get going green. But see if the lights go off with the pace car this time.
Well, because we're going to be setting ourselves into overtime here, if this is your first time being a part of overtime, the way that it works is we will have 2 laps to finish out this race. If we get a caution under the first lap, we will then go into overtime attempt number 2. But if we go across the line and get the white flag, this race will become official, and it's all about who can cross the line first. Pace car lights are off. Zach, we're going into our first attempt at overtime. Cody Reed, John Forbes going to be the front runners. Cedric Hunter, well, what move would Cedric be willing to make? Or will we see someone else try to make a daring move to try to take this win away from the 25 who's had the luck that's lined up for him to be in this position?
Well, I tell you what, so far Danny Cochran, he's made 2 attempts at 3 wide. The last 2 restarts. He's restarting up top this time, so we might not see the 2 down there near the wall entering the corner this time, but you never know. Justin Campbell starting there in 5th. Don't count him out. And if Cedric 100 times is well enough, let me see what he does here in this 3rd position, because this could get definitely a little wild.
Cody Reed hoping to get himself into victory lane. He's been trying. He's done it before in the past, but it was been at a road course when he got it done. Can he get into victory lane once again here tonight for the Cody Reed machine? The field set, ready to go, as it's Cody Reed, John Forbes going to be the front runners in the first attempt at overtime for the Milwaukee 140. And it's all going to be in line for now. Not a lot of shenanigans of going 2-3 wide, but John Forbes with a great run on the outside row. He's trying to close in the gap if possible, but Cody Reed keeps it equal at 2/10 into turn 3.
We'll see what Reed can do here as they go into 3. Everybody missing the corner. It just shows you how hard they're all pushing the 2 up the racetrack to 11 also there as they come here out of 4.
Behind. We're going to overtime attempt number 2. Malarkey, also going to be Mark Morales, and others scattering in the middle of 3 and 4.
And another restart here, and Reed is just saying, why can't there have been a white flag there? I was in the best positioning. But we'll see what brought it out there. As Malarkey's around, you can see Morales head in first straight into him. So we'll see right here what it looks like from the on-board point of view from this 91 machine of Martin Morales. But down the back straightaway, you'll see the action that happens up ahead here. She's going to come through the corner. Malarkey going to get clipped by the 8 of steel there, and that's going to send him around right in front of Morales.
Morales just nowhere to go for the 91. He's been struggling here tonight as that hard contact going to send the 73 into pit road with required damage. Let's take another look at it. It's going to be the 8 of Noah Steele. Just going to be washing up. Gets tapped by Milwaukee. Milwaukee goes down into Freed, spins him around, and just nowhere to go for Mark Morales, as this will send us into our second attempt at overtime. Almost identical to attempt number 1, where if we get the yellow flag on the first lap, we will go into attempt number 3. If we get the white flag, we race it to the end. It's all about who crosses the line first. But if we get a yellow flag, this sends us into attempt number 3. There are some different rules for attempt number 3. And Cody Reed is hoping we don't go to that third attempt, because it'll be a little bit too close to some deja vu that happened back at season 1, where I think back to that race, it was Mark Whitley who was leading and dominating that race until the very last restart, where he found himself being spun around on our third attempt at overtime, and it was off of Vincent Sora's nose, and it was Vincent Sora that won that race. So Cody Reed, hoping he doesn't see that similar moment happen to him.
He does not want deja vu. That is for sure, Sam. That is the last thing I think Cody Reed wants to see here is anything to do with someone getting into his rear bumper coming into 3 and 4 as the lights stay on the pace car. Second attempt on the cards here for this next green white checker. I mean, you got Cochran here in second. You know he's going to be willing to send it. We've seen Forbes there through the middle of the corner there. He just immediately found a surge of speed. It didn't work well going down the back straightaway, but the surge of speed there could allow him to get to the outside quarter panel of somebody. That could be what he's attempting to do to his teammate. And how cordial does he race his teammate?
It's going to be a big question. How does he want to run here? As Cody Reed gets set up for this race, it's been a fun one to watch. All these drivers get to where they're at now, and who will survive is going to be the big question here tonight. Cody Reed's open for this great restart. Looking at some other drivers, though, of note that we want to give a praise before we take our potentially last restart of the night. Biggest mover based off where they qualified, Anthony Gaudio in the 3, having a chance for a top 10 finishes. Drivers getting a little bit antsy in the middle of the field with the bob and weave. That's the teammates of Christopher Norris and Nick Crawford going back and forth. But other big drivers, Justin Smith trying to go for a top 20 run. Vincent Sora is inside the top 15. He's done a great job recovering, but looking at the field, I think Anthony Gaudio, got to give praise to the 3 on how well he's been running this evening.
Definitely got to give a huge praise to him for sure. He's been up to 10th there. We'll see how this works out. I mean, Fonseca even in the 24 and 8th. That's a great job for him because he's been running outside the top 15 for most today. So great job to see Ali here late in the race up there. Nick Crawford up to 11th. Chris Morris back up to 12th. So we got some players here, but we'll see if the Snowy Desert Racing pair up front can do anything with the group behind them.
Hoping for a win is Cody Reed. This is our second attempt at overtime. Will we need a third, or will this be the last one of the evening? Pace car makes the hard left-hander to pit road. And for Cody Reed, we get ready to launch into the restart zone. A little bit of bobbing and weaving for themselves. Not a great launch. Cody Reed is checking up, slowing down Danny Cochran. Cochran gives the bump, pushes the 25 high. They're wrecking behind on through the center, 1 and 2. Cody Reed's got the nose. Caution flag out, but I think Danny Cochran was ahead. Oh no, it's based off the timing. Cody does not keep the lead. Danny stays there. The bump and run puts the 2 in the control seat for the next restart.
Oh man, it's going to be interesting to see as you see I think a little bump even there after the yellow. You see the start, the 2. I mean, I don't know if he was pushing them in the start zone, but we'll see this. What is they brought out the yellow here? This looks like, oh man,
that's great.
14
house in
years
Ari.
Yeah, something happened to GT there up ahead, and major collision there, and even had Campbell even almost hit the inside wall, and it caused a little bit of a scare, I think, for some people.
Just a bizarre explosion for Justin Campbell. What in the world happened to the 9?
Yeah, I think he hit the inside wall.
That was an explosion. That you know, so there are some incidences that we try to understand, and there are some. Oh, he hit the wall.
Yeah, it looks like he hit the wall with that inside tire there. So I don't. It looks like it's fine though on Sin. No meatball flag other than Curtis Preston against Sora. So I think this might just be a little bit of a what we call netcode visual glitch here from this damage.
goes down, and it's almost like a neck code hit the wall, explodes, makes everyone freak out. No loss of momentum for the 9, but everyone else reacts to that explosion, and Vincent Sora getting the worst of it, and the rest of the field piles in. Basically, almost every driver I just called out for having a decent run involved in this one. And that will reset him for a final restart. And Zach, I think you were right about, I rewatched the Danny Cochran restart. He was on that back bumper, pushing Cody Reed, as well as it looked like Cedric Hunter was on the back bumper of John Forbes, trying to push those drivers before they were even in the restart zone. And it might be something to be talked about, but this was a loophole that kind of was brought up last week where you can kind of break the restart rules and you'll just be penalized with end of the line penalty next week.
Yeah, that's kind of in the precedent set now, hasn't it? And yeah, I mean, looking at that restart myself, I mean, definitely the two making sure the 25 goes when he wants to. There's that a little bit of a stack up happened, and that really allowed Danny Cochran to get to that inside, and then from there Reed had to block it. He gets shoved by the 2 from there. I think this could be a little bit of a messy restart here if the 25 gets an opportunity to go at the 2.
There might be a chance of maybe a caution incident, white flag wreck, payback maybe being thrown. We are on our final restart of the night. This is it. If we get a caution on this next flag, when we go green, this first lap, if we get a caution, the race will end under yellow. But if we get the white flag, we race this to the end, and gloves are off on who's going to get the win here tonight. This is it. Zach, lights are off. We are going into our final restart of the night.
Oh, this is going to be tension is, you can cut it right now for sure. It is definitely very, very close between all these drivers, and I think everybody up front here has been frustrated that we haven't really got enough laps to race each other out. So it's just been kind of a mad dash and take opportunities when you can. This could get a little messy if these guys keep it somewhat straight, because I think everybody here is a little angry.
How will this restart line up? Thank you so much to everyone that's joining with us. The final restart of the night. We've had to use all 3 overtime attempts. And Milwaukee, we had a similar situation happen back in season 1, the last time that they ran at this course. And now we get to see, will the storylines line up here tonight? Pace cars making the hard left-hander to pit road. The Milwaukee 140 here tonight for race number 6 of the season. Last restart underway. Danny Cochran takes off. No worries. He's got plenty of space to block and defend. It's going to be side-by-side for second place. Rest of the field hoping maybe they can run this race out to the white flag, but if we get a caution on the first, we will end this race here and now as a little bit of slicing and dicing, but it's going to be Danny Cochran, John Forbes down into turn number 3.
Here we go. Can they get to the white flag, or do we get a yellow to end this race as Forbes trying to get there? Reed sliding on the racetrack. Right there is the 7 of Cedric Hunter's trying to duck down below him. The Campbell's there. Is now we're going to get the white.
White flag's in the air. It's your freaky fast white flag as they send it down into turn number 1. Danny Cochran leads the way, side by side for 3rd. John Forbes is going to have one more chance. He needs the perfect exit if he wants a chance to win this race. Will he use the bumper or will he not? It's 2/10 the difference, 2 truck lengths. Danny Cochran hits his marks. Forbes ships it down into turn number 3. Exits wide, looks to be too wide. Danny Cochran used the bumper of the last restart, and he'll keep the lead and will win for the first time this season. Cochran's back into victory lane.
Back into victory lane, and Campbell holds on to 3rd. Reed's going to be 4th. Cedric Hunter in 5th. I think right here you might see a little displeasure from the 25.
There's the contact, the tap, the bump. Not happy about it. And Danny Cochran, will he continue with another week going into next week with a penalty? We'll find and see. A couple of drivers giving some congratulational taps to the 2, but certainly, Zach, controversy once again for these drivers as Cody Reed's just frustrated with how this night went away for him.
Yeah, I could see how he could be very, very frustrated in the position he was in. We'll see how it shakes out from there, but Danny Cochran pulling off the victory from the rear of the field. He definitely took some risks there, and it paid off big for that too.
Massive run for the 2 machine. He'll enjoy the burnouts and having some fun winning here tonight in the Milwaukee 140. When we come back, it's the post-race show for what we will be talking to our top 3 and a spotlight driver right after this. And we are back for the post-race show here tonight for the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series as the Milwaukee 140 is in the books. But drama mounting up as our winner here tonight had a long road to climb through. Started tonight off with an EOL penalty that was from last week, carried over into this week, and now finds himself in victory lane. Hard-fought battle. Danny, it's Sam and Zach up at the booth. Congratulations on getting your first win this season. How are you feeling after the grueler you just went through?
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was it was very hard fought for sure. Passing came at more than a premium tonight. Yeah, feeling pretty good about it. Hate it for my teammates. They kind of got shuffled out of where they should have finished. Either one of them deserved the win over me. I think we were still the top 3 on pace though. But yeah, man, I feel great to win. I just hate it for my teammate Vincent and my teammate Cedric. They had great runs and kind of got short end of the stick several times.
Yeah, man, that's definitely sometimes how racing plays out there, Danny. But great job going off there, pulling off your first victory of the season, man. Congrats on that. And, take us through your drive through the field early in the race because, man, you were really picking them up and putting them down, and you and Vincent battling there right to the end of the stage.
Yeah, earlier on, man, we just had a lot of speed. I was able to wrap that bottom pretty well. Most of the guys were kind of going for like this arc of an entry, especially in one, which is the preferred line. But we found out pretty quick that if you could just get your nose under somebody, then you could pretty well pick up the position on them, just because there wasn't much grip on the outside at the time. Of course, as the race went on, it rubbered in more, and you're able to do more to fight back, and that's why the passing kind of went away, or at least that's why it felt like it kind of went away. But no, I mean earlier on, man, it was a lot of fun picking up the spots as we were going through the field. Had a little bit of a kerfuffle there on that first initial start, but me, Vincent, John, we were all able to pick them up and put them down pretty quick. I got stuck behind the 17 a little bit closer to the stage end, and that kind of held me up a ton. And then I looked under him at one point. He tried to chop it or tried to close the door whenever I was already there, and he kind of got me a little bit sideways, and that let the 15 get by me. But yeah, that was actually a lot of fun starting from the back and coming forward. Usually with our qualifying efforts throughout the season, it feels like that's how it usually goes anyway for me. But fun to be able to do it tonight and put the thing in victory lane.
Well, talking about restarts, Danny, there's going to be one controversial moment. That's the second to last restart, getting into the back bumper of Cody Reed. What was going through your mind there? Because I know from our point of view, it looked like you were kind of trying to jump the start and giving Cody a bump to go. But what was going through your mind there on that final restart to give you the lead?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're seeing, but I went when he did. I got a run on him on the start, and he tried to cover it off. I mean, I get blocking somebody going down into one, but whenever you block, I mean, you can expect a bump for it. I mean, I got blocked all the way down to the inside wall. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel too bad about it.
Hey, it makes sense. You're the one in victory lane. Danny, congratulations. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
My teammates, of course, Vincent and Cedric ran a heck of a race. Both of them didn't quite get the results to show for it, unfortunately. You guys for broadcasting, putting on an awesome show every week. The admins who put this thing on, working so hard all the time. I know we had a little bit of a scare before the session went up. iRacing actually went down right at 8 o'clock Eastern, which for anybody who doesn't know is right when our session opens for an hour of practice before the race. And that happened, and there was about 8 of us in Discord, all just kind of, wondering what was about to happen. So shout out to the drivers who come out, put on a show every week for those watching. And, of course, all the moms at home wearing a 2 shirt, real happy to see that. So, yeah, that pretty well does it. Thanks, guys.
Well, that will be the 2 Machine of Danny Cochran. Congratulations on getting your win here tonight. Enjoy it. Enjoy your week off, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hey, y'all have a good one.
As that will be the 2 Machine, Danny Cochran, your winner here tonight at Milwaukee, as we go down to a driver that do a similar story to Danny Cochran that's working through the field after starting this race with an EOL. We've got our second place finisher of John Forbes with us. John, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. We also got you on screen. Congratulations on your second place finish and all the hard work you had to do. How are you feeling after today's performance?
Yeah, I mean, almost every race this season so far, it's been a P2 finish, so I can't complain about it once again. Wish I could have got to Danny there at turn 4. Yeah, we kind of talked about what happened over on turn 1, and we've had a couple other instances this season. Things keep escalating, so I'm sure we're not going to let it get too far. But yeah, it was a great race. It was kind of fun coming from the back. I feel like you could actually get some passing and stuff done here. So the race overall was really fun. Had to battle back from the rear, battle back from a spin early on an abused set of tires. So I got some pretty good confidence coming up through the field with like 3% worn off of each of my tires after that first spin. So yeah, it was a fun night. And these types of tracks are just they're good for me so far this season.
That they definitely are, John. It's been really fun to watch you battle through the field tonight and really put on a bunch of moves out there. How do you think this bodes for you going into Gateway next week? Because I feel like pretty similar track. Yeah, definitely very similar track. I know Cody again wants to win there too, so definitely got some team momentum going on there. And yeah, just once again with all these tracks being so similar the past few weeks, the confidence is definitely going to carry over there, where we can once again start hunting for a win. It's coming in a lot of these leagues we're in right now. So just waiting for that breakthrough moment this season. And it's really great to having some good runs after, like, the champion seems to always have a really bad season after winning. So just trying to fight that kind of motto they say that always happens. So just keeping the momentum going in the right place, and I'm sure a win is coming.
Yeah, I mean, the win seems like it's just right in your grasp there, John. With also the unlucky finish for Vincent Soar, it looks like you should become continue to be the points leader after tonight. What is the points race? Are you thinking about that at all throughout the rest of this season, knowing that we're into the second half of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of check on it week by week, and I mean, it's hard to say it's not a confidence boost looking at it and seeing your name like on the top of the board or fighting with some of these guys that are definitely going to be with you for the championship hunt. So it's kind of like what I talked about with you guys last week. It's just kind of showing where everyone's at week by week. And I have a feeling a lot of these points competitions and stuff, it's all going to carry over into the playoffs, and it's going to look pretty similar when we get to that point as well.
Well, we're excited to see how you're going to perform for the rest of the season here, John. But before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I want to thank JD at Performance Mods for being on top of the truck tonight. The Strike On Designs for the awesome scheme, eFlex Fuel as well. I thank all the friends and family watching. For you guys for putting this on. Can't wait to go back and watch it.
Well, congratulations, John, again on a second place finish. Enjoy it and good luck. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks here when we head to Gateway.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too. As we move away from second, we go down to third, where we bring up the 9 machine of Justin Campbell, almost coming away with a second place finish. Maybe need a little bit more time. Justin, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. Congratulations on another great finish for yourself. Third place here tonight. How are you feeling after your performance here this evening?
I feel pretty good about it. Really wasn't expecting to finish top 3 tonight, to be honest with you. Joined in with like 20 minutes of practice left and kind of just made short runs. Didn't really practice my long runs, and it clearly showed with that first stage. I just fell off a lot at that first stage, but managed it a little bit better for that long fuel run we had. But once I put it in during the last stage, like lighter fuel load, it's like I was a different racer at that moment. Like it was a lot faster than normal.
Definitely made up a lot of time there, Justin, man. Able to get yourself a top 3 here tonight. But, you know, I want to ask you, did you see anything that happened there into one with, you know, the inside wall there and you? Because we had a crazy scene of where it looked like your front end got knocked off. I don't know if anything happened on your end, but I think the people even behind you got kind of spooked there going in the one when they had that 3-wide action going on.
Yeah, I sort of kind of figured that I caused that one. Like I felt something hit and it like slowed my car down, but like there wasn't nothing majorly damaged to it. And that probably caused that whole wreck or whatever happened behind me. And I'm kind of sorry about that to everyone that was involved in that and didn't make it out alive.
Well, it certainly made it a dramatic moment for us watching that incident. Justin, this season, the first half of the season, you've been running very well up front. How has this season been for you, though, in your mind, trying to set up with the rest of this regular season and the playoffs looming in just a month or so?
Um, this first half of the season's been pretty good to me. I mean, I'm on my P's and Q's till the very end and always find myself up towards the front and in contention of a win, possibly. Just came a little bit short tonight with cautions and all that stuff happening. But me and my teammates, Mason and Ollie, always find a way to be up front together towards the end. And I think we got one coming eventually.
We cannot wait to see that moment happen. Justin, congratulations on third. Before we officially let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Just thank you to my teammates, Mason and Ollie, for working together with me tonight. And probably wouldn't have been possible to be able to finish where I did tonight.
Well, that will be the 9 machine of Justin Campbell coming away with third place finish. Congratulations on that. And hopefully we'll be talking to you in 2 weeks when we head to Gateway.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, from third place, we do have the 4th place finisher of Cody Reed. So let's hear from Cody. Heard Danny's point of view on that second last restart. Let's see how Cody's feeling after the luck seemed to be on his side and then it fell away just as quickly. Cody, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. You come away 4th. I know it's not the win that you were hoping for, but how are you feeling with your 4th place finish?
Really disappointed. Just kind of with a lot of things. I mean, I know I didn't have the fastest truck all night, and I, didn't really deserve to be up like on the front row, speed wise. But that strategy call got me into a good spot, and really felt like if that green flag run went on for, a little over one lap, every restart for the last, 15 laps or whatever it was, I would have had a good shot at keeping that win. But I'm really disappointed with pretty much the entire back half of the field tonight, similar to Gateway when we went there a few seasons ago. They just can't keep it straight and just keeps bringing out cautions, and it just really screwed me over once again. I'm really kind of disappointed with Danny. I practice with him and I practice with CSR and Ollie's team quite a bit, and I've like created quite a friendship with those guys, and being like one of the winningest drivers in the league. He has the second most wins. I figured he would give me a little bit of a break. Trying to get my first oval win, my second win ever in the league. And then, to have the gall to go in his interview and say basically he did nothing wrong. Kind of really disappointed. And I'm definitely going to be rethinking who I practice with moving forward. And I definitely won't be surprised if I get an L1 or L2 penalty after Gateway next week. So that's pretty much it.
Well, Cody, definitely not the night that you wanted, man, there to play out the end. But, we talk about Gateway. It's definitely one of your favorite racetracks. That's up next. How much do you look forward to just getting there?
Look forward to be on the rear bumper of the 2 truck. But no, really, I've been looking forward to it. We haven't raced since season 3 there, and it's definitely one of my best tracks, and I definitely think I've improved since season 3. So I'm looking to try to win that race. I'm sponsoring it again. The one race I have won in this league, I sponsored, so maybe that'll be a good luck thing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully it won't end out like tonight. I know it's a pretty similar track. It's just kind of a Milwaukee's kind of like a wider Gateway, except Gateway just has a little bit more banking, so maybe that'll play out better for me. I know running the track is quite a bit different, especially turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 are very similar. But yeah, just kind of a disappointing night. Felt like I should have had that win in the bag, but that's okay. Maybe I'll go try to win Gateway.
Oh, we're hoping for the best for you, Cody. I know that tonight was not the way that you wanted it to finish, but before we let you go, the floor is now yours.
I'd like to thank Vincent Sora and Cedric Hunter for being CSR drivers and not, tearing up the entire field. I'd like to thank my teammates for trying to cool me down. Especially those last like 15 laps, I was getting really peed off with all the back markers wrecking. Like to thank you guys for putting on a great show. I'll be sure to watch the broadcast back tomorrow. Like to thank the admins for putting this together and everything. I like these tracks. I like the schedule this season. Just hope the ends of these races kind of change a little bit. But I'd like to thank. That's about it, I guess. I'd like to thank my dad. He's watching the race. He loves watching these things. He was really upset about the ending, but maybe I'll win next race for him.
Well, we're hoping for the best for you, Cody. Congratulations on a top 5 finish here tonight, and good luck in 2 weeks when we head to Gateway.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that will be your interviews here tonight. I think, Zach, most interesting thing there, obviously what we saw, what Danny felt and thought he did, and what Cody thought, very different from what a lot of these people were feeling.
Yeah, as myself being a driver, it's always an interesting thing to see how these things play out, and I think that there would definitely need a lot of analyzation to go back and see like exactly what played out. But definitely I can see both sides of the story. Both drivers going for the win, and it's just there's going to be upset people at the end of the day. And I've been in that same exact position of being upset, and I know exactly how it feels. So, all you can do if you're Cody is ball that up and hopefully use it into something positive to make motivate yourself. And then if you're Danny, he's like you said, he feels he's scot free on it. So I think you got to continue with that same mindset if you're him. So I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting, I think, going into Gateway, and they got this week here to kind of cool off, but I think going into Gateway it'll be interesting.
I mean, Milwaukee Mile back in season 1 was kind of the catalyst that started a lot of drama between, at the time, Vincent Sora and Mark Whitley. Well, I think maybe Milwaukee Mile here in season 6, we've seen a lot of, similarities from season 1 to season 6. And I think maybe we might have found a new rivalry that is blossoming up. But before we call it a night, let's take a look at our unofficial results for tonight's race. Danny Cochran going to come away with the win. John Forbes going to be in second. Both those drivers have to start with the end of the line penalty after last week's Phoenix race, and they will come away 1-2. Justin Campbell coming away third. Cody Reed falls to fourth. Cedric Hunter, after his dominance all throughout tonight's race, was stuck in fifth. Christopher Norris, involved with so many of those late wrecks, he comes away in sixth for himself. What a recovery run for the 38. Joshua Kanata seventh. Eighth is Mason Cassidy. Ollie Fonseca ninth. To finish out our top 10, it's the 3 of Anthony Gaudio.
As we look through the rest of the finishing order, man, what a wow ending there. It just seemed like once that yellow came out after that long green flag run, chaos could not run away from Milwaukee. It just rained terror on the rest of the track. As look at the rest of this list here, definitely one that sticks out there is Vincent Sora back there in that 26th position. His speeding penalty, putting himself back there, getting that lap back, and getting involved in that incident. It's going to put him back there after his return. But I tell you, I think after we get away from Gateway, with the next race, I think these drivers are going to be very happy that they don't have a short track coming up.
4 short track style courses in a row. You just knew that the drama was going to build up and bubble over at some point. And tonight we get to see a little bit more of that boiling point grow. But if you want to see more racing action, this is going to be a great week to watch, as tomorrow night it's the BRB Butt Kicker Series as they are getting themselves prepared for playoff racing starting tomorrow night. Wednesday, beginning of a new round for the WSSR Next Gen Cup, WSSR Cup Series in the Gen 4 machines. Next Gens on Thursday. That Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series has been putting on a show, and it's probably been some of the best racing throughout the week, and you're going to see if they can try to capitalize once again on Thursday nights. But this week, fun racing action you don't want to miss out on. And if you're enjoying some of the drama that bubbled out here today, we might see some more throughout the week, especially with Tuesday and Wednesday in their playoff stages.
That very well could. I tell you, a lot of what you see tonight could boil over into those nights. And I think, like you said, with Thursday night, it's been some of the best racing we've seen. And you can say, I think Auto Club's going to be pretty wild. Just mark that one down. I think it's going to be one for interesting time to watch. So if you want to come out and watch a good race, make sure you come out then. And also Tuesday and Wednesday, of course, they got their playoffs going on, and it's going to be great racing. But it'll be a while before we're back here to ISRC, but it's going to be a fun time when we do that.
Yeah, we are going to be taking next week off as the league, I think, a very needed week off to kind of cool down after 3 of the 4 short track races in a row get completed. But we will be excited to come back in 2 weeks for Gateway here for the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series. But for tonight, thank you so much to everyone that joined with us, those chatting after the race is done. I mean, even the chat is getting a little riled up, and we love to see it. Thank you so much to those that have already liked and have chatted on tonight's broadcast. If you're liking the broadcast, you want to see more, remember to hit that like button, subscribe button, and we'll be back with more racing coverage throughout the week. But if you want to see more ISRC, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Otherwise, tomorrow night, the start of a brand new playoffs. It's the chase for the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. Don't want to miss out. Watkins Glen tomorrow night. We'll see you then for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.